出嚟。啊，得啦得啦得啦，你
細路仔打交先至會啫。
Kung Fu Hustle.
There's some parts I can't wait to get. I can't wait to get to some of these, man. Hey, Chris, what's up?
I actually changed a Dragon Ball Z t-shirt since Kung Fu, and we lost a legend recently. Why not, man?
Oh, yeah, Toriyama. Rest in peace.
Dragon Ball Super, man. Yep.
Rest in peace, Toriyama, man. Oh, well, good evening, everyone, and welcome. How are you doing, Dark Hour?
Doing good, doing good. We got Blue Collar Loser here, Drunken Master Loser, if you will.
Yeah, the Drunken Master Loser.
Yes.
Yeah. For those of you who haven't seen, Blue Collar has shaved his head, ladies and gentlemen. That is his immense commitment to Lance's streams, of course.
I mean, I should have learned Kung Fu for this stream, but I was out of time. Dark Hour makes it look easy.
I mean, Dark Hour. Dude, I'm in so much pain all the time that it's just like
I'm in pain too, but my pain's mental.
Yeah, you're right, dude. Same for me.
I actually didn't even want to wear my jiu-jitsu gi today.
Yeah.
I just
don't worry,
when they're dry, they're very like sandpapery. So the movement hurts. It's like
Yikes.
Also,
well, yeah, they're basically like burlap sacks. They're like because they're supposed to be used to like throw people with. So they're very, very thick, like canvas material.
I always make sure for Dark Hour, because I know he's a huge fan, but I make sure I buy a fresh bottle of Pepsi, 2 liter.
Fuck that company.
Pepsi, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait till we get to later this year and we talk about Back to the Future Part 2 and I go off on Pepsi again.
I like Pepsi, dude. I prefer Pepsi over Coke.
It sounds delicious. Oh, man. It's so
delicious
refreshing.
Pepsi, man.
Oh, fuck yourself. Anyway.
Well, hello to everyone in the chat. We see you. Hey, Shield Wall. Yes, Kung Fu Hustle is literally one of the best. Miss Martin Muses, hello. Jacob, hi. Eraserhead, General Kenobi, and Professor R2. Really hope you have a good time watching Frozen Empire. Haven't heard good things about it, but
it's
yeah. So and
that seems like most movies coming out nowadays. It's like
basically,
it could have been worse.
John Sullivan, I love this in Shaolin Soccer, but Kung Fu Hustle takes the crown. Oh yeah, I love Shaolin Soccer too, but
we'll probably add that'll be on here eventually. I'm already scheduling out for next March. Don't worry.
Hell yeah, man.
All right, well, I mean, let's get all the other guests out, and then we can start talking about Stephen Chow's absolute masterpiece. So I'll go first. I'll go first. So, ladies and gentlemen, coming from a galaxy far, far away, he's here to take over our universe. It is the one and only Jalen E.T.
Hello, everyone. It is me, Jalen E.T., and it is your favorite evil alien coming to conquer the world. Yes.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good.
Dude. It's a pleasure to have you on, talk about Kung Fu Hustle. Because believe it or not, Jalen and me, we've been friends and we watched some stuff together on Discord. And Kung Fu Hustle is one of those movies that we actually had to watch together for a while, but never really had the chance to because schedules. And once I saw that we were doing Kung Fu Hustle, I was like, yep, I got to have him on. It's a good excuse to talk about it together.
Yes, this is very true. Me and the Fancy Cat was we go way back with this film, where ironically way before we met, this goes way back to our childhoods. We both kind of grew up on this film, oddly.
Oh yeah,
but it was something that brought us together, so I had to come here to talk about it because this film is a goddamn masterpiece.
Hell yeah, it is, dude. So Dark Hour, taking it back to you to do the intros.
All right, we have a couple more first timers today. This first guy, he was one of the earliest subscribers to my channel, and I've been in contact with him for a while. I've been trying to put together something, but he's way over on the other side of the world, so we actually had to wait until the times came a little closer together. But I finally got him here, and that's Richard from Richard's Reviews.
So good morning, everybody. Because it's 6:15 in the morning.
Yeah. Good morning. 5 o'clock somewhere.
I can't go for the whiskey and coke at the minute. Probably a cup of tea or a coffee. It's,
I thought everybody down in the southern hemisphere just lives a
whiskey and
completely
Pepsi,
different
get it right,
life
okay?
down there.
I got a busy schedule after today of work that I can't really sleep through.
Well,
Thanks for having me
I'm-
on.
I'm glad to finally have you on, man. We've been
Alright.
trying to put this together for like almost a year now, and it's great to finally be able to stream together.
Yeah, and I finally watched the movie this week. I'd never seen it. I'd heard about it. I'd never got around to seeing it, and it was,
That's awesome.
it was bloody good.
I envy you, man. Watching it for the first time. Oh,
Yeah.
I mean,
Almost like,
for me, it was basically like rewatching it for the first time. I think
Channels.
I saw it like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and finally, or whenever it
Jesus,
came
man.
out. When did it come out? Like
2004.
2004.
Yeah. So yeah, this is like the first time I've seen it again.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, that's one
Oh,
thing
yeah.
Richard and Jalen doesn't know about me. These guys know I'm a father of a 16-year-old, and sitting down, I love rewatching films for the first time with my kid and just hearing his reaction. And I keep saying, don't I love 80s, 90s films? Because we always say, do films age well? My son was laughing his ass off yesterday. He's like, Dad, this film's fantastic. And it came out 2 years before he was born.
Well,
Yeah.
hold that thought, because we do have one more guest to bring in.
Yes.
I met this guy back when I was still employed and I was traveling for my job, and he used to, I'm another guy that I've streamed with on several occasions on different channels, but it's great to finally have him on our show, and that is Jay, also known as the Gooch.
What's
Ladies
up?
and gentlemen, the
What's up,
Gooch.
everyone?
Dude,
Gooch palm strike.
Gooch palm strike.
that must hurt, actually.
Damn right it would. Howdy, guys. How's everyone doing? Thanks for having me on.
Good, man. Oh,
Thank you
dude, it's
for
a
coming
pleasure to have you on, dude. It's been a long time coming, yeah, with you, Gooch.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hell
Yeah, it's
yeah.
probably about I think when the first time I streamed with you was about like 9-10 months ago. So we're
It's
we're-
been.
and then
really
I've,
good
of course
to
I've
have you
seen you over on Hypnotic's channel a couple times, on Platoon's channel. So it was great. It was great that we finally get to get you over here.
Yeah, I'm part of that crew. I'm bouncing around everywhere. And
It's like you're part of the same crew I'm in, the Traveling Grifters.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It's been a blast. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a blast. Meeting everyone. It's a really good community to be a part of, and I'm enjoying
Hell
it all.
yeah,
so.
man. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, glad to have you on to cover Kung Fu Hustle. And hey to everyone in the chat again who's just popping in. Melvin, French food is weird. Frog legs, snails, and Pepsi. Listen, dude, frog legs are fucking delicious.
I mean,
Frog legs kind of taste like chicken. They're just
They
the
do taste
problem
like
with them
chicken.
is
Yeah,
that
they do.
they're just a lot of work for like one bite. You have to like
Yep.
cook the whole thing, and you take the bite, and it's like a chicken wing. It's like a buffalo wing. It's like it's a lot of work to just get a little bit. Of meat.
Exactly.
I've never
yeah.
tried frog legs, but I've been
Dude.
interested.
Frog legs are delicious, man. You do it with some like persil and garlic. You stir that up, stir fry. Delicious.
making me
And
hungry.
of course, who else have we got? Vex. Have a good day at work, man. Thank you for popping
Yeah,
in.
Vex always pops in to say hi and then back to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we got Jacob here. Jacob, nice. And Cannoli, fellow paisan.
Well,
That's
more
a big
people
part.
will slowly trickle in.
Of
It's
course,
just the,
yeah.
it's just the nature of streams.
And Mrs. C. Hey, Mrs. C. Hope you're doing good. Gord as well. Martial arts effort. Well, we are doing martial arts. I guess this is
Martial
the
arts
last.
month.
Yeah, this is the last film of martial.
We have like a
arts.
micro martial arts month in about like 3 months. It just kind of worked out that way that we have like Karate Kid and Kickboxer back to back.
Oh yeah.
Only because that was their anniversaries, so it just happened. I was like, I'll put these back to back. But that wasn't really intentional to be like a martial arts concept. It just happened. That
Yes,
way.
Jacob. Le Pepsi, of course.
Le Pepsi.
Le Pepsi. And Dusty Yeg. Hey, welcome, man. And, yeah, all right. Well, I guess we can start with the little bit of the intros. And which way should we go? Well,
let's start with Chris and work our way around.
yeah, that's what I was thinking too. All right.
Gives me a minute to go grab something to drink while you do
The
that.
drunken master loser, of
right.
course, here, Chris. Yeah, Chris, what was your first experience with Kung Fu Hustle? Where were you the first time that you watched it, man?
It's been a while. I can't remember that far back from all the alcoholism. I do remember watching it. It was on DVD, and we did see the English dub, because it's funny how nowadays you get sometimes the subtitles only in English dub, and I thought the English dub was just epic, over the top. And yeah, this film is it's such a comedy, but it's also like a walking live action anime at the same time. And yet again, how special effects, you could say have aged, it's been 20 years now, but man, it's like, just imagine if somebody really cared about like a live action Dragon Ball Z movie, it could be done right. I'm telling you.
Yes,
But
it can be.
it's such a fantastic film, even from a martial arts standpoint and a comedy aspect. Like it's so perfect.
Oh, dude, I totally agree. Jalen, you got a shout out, and hey, Julio, hope you're doing good. And yeah, so I mean, Kung Fu Hustle is really timeless, and I think the CG, the way that it looks, kind of just adds to the timelessness. Look, we have a hater, ladies and gentlemen, a pure hater right here, showing us some Coca-Cola. All right.
But
I actually recently, so they've been doing these like temporary flavors, and they did one to coincide with Dune called Spiced. Terrible. Raspberry flavored Coca-Cola. I think it's the worst thing I've ever tasted in my life.
The good news is, though, when you look at Dark Hour's mine's bigger, so that's all that matters.
Hey, bro. I can't blame. Okay, I got nothing.
All right. Well,
I drink from a beer keg. What does that say?
Mine's more efficient. Damn it! It's more aerodynamic.
Your Pepsi bottle's bigger as well.
Let's go to you, man. Where were you the first time you saw Kung Fu Hustle?
Oh, we're talking about me.
Yeah.
Well, this actually goes way back when I was damn near a spawn lit. So you guys may or may not remember. Do you guys remember the classic PSP system?
Yeah,
Exactly where I watched it.
Wow.
I remember they had those little
like
DVD discs that you popped in.
Yeah.
And the resolution was always terrible on those because they had to like compress the shit out of it.
Well, that just shows you how good the movie was, because I still enjoyed that shit, even on the little ass PSP. And eventually, my father called on. He's like, what the hell is this guy doing? And eventually he ended up watching it, and then we got the DVD and we all ended up watching it, and it was a good time.
Oh yeah.
And that's really the first time I've watched it. I even
watching it ever since.
This month I watched it twice with two of my friends. They saw it for the first time, and it was just hilarious to see their experience.
Dude, man, Kung Fu Hustle is an absolute gem. It is like, I can't wait to get into it, dude. But Richard, what about you? Where was your first experience with Kung Fu Hustle?
I'd known about the film for a while. First time I saw it was Tuesday.
Lucky.
Yeah,
so lucky.
I had to get hold of my friend who lives 500 k's away and get him to post me the DVD to watch it because it's on none of the streaming services we've got, and I couldn't find it. So he's got DVD still coming out of his ears. I've still got a few. He's got a box of martial arts. He's got a box for horror. He's got a box for everything. Give me 2 minutes. Found it. Send me your address, and it arrived the next day. And then waded through all the toys in my kids' room and watched it on their PlayStation.
Oh yeah,
that's 300 miles for people who use real measurement
systems. Yeah, real American stuff.
American measurement systems.
Yeah, the ones that only you people
12 inches equals a foot, 3 feet equals a yard. I don't even know how many yards equal a mile. I have no idea.
But yeah, I'm glad that I'm seriously jealous that you watched it for the first time recently.
I was really impressed. It was really good. Good comedy and sure the effects might be a touch dated now, but it was good fun, really good fun.
Yeah, and the Palm Strike Gooch, ba-bam.
My first time experience this film was when I was doing my time in San Quentin because I still don't know how to control the power of the Gooch, so I had to do time in San Quentin with the guys, and no, it was back in the. It was back in the early 2000s, and I've loved the film. I've actually watched this film probably, I would say, close to 10 times. I love this film. Everything about it, the writing, the humor, everything about it is great. I've watched it numerous times. I watched it again this morning. So,
timeless. Yeah, the Gooch is strong with this one, ladies and gentlemen.
It annoys me that sometimes I'll type something and it comes up as you, and then like if we're on my channel, it's the reverse. We have to look quick who said it.
Yeah, you keep forgetting as well.
Yeah, we share the account, so it's
exactly But oh man, I'm so happy that we're talking about Kung Fu Hustle. Dark Hour.
There you go. That is a solid measurement system. 12 feet, 12 inches in a foot, 3 feet in a yard, 1,760 yards in a mile. Come on, who doesn't know that math?
Dude, you're gonna be lost anywhere else in the world. Anywhere else in the world, you're gonna be lost.
My next video actually has like I have a whole thing where I'm like, fuck the metric system. So as for me, for the first time I watched this was a long time ago. I can't even remember how long
I probably wasn't born.
It was probably pretty close to when it came out, and I remember I watched the English dub back then, and I enjoyed it a lot. I remember just thinking to myself, this is the most over the top nonsense I've ever seen. I love it.
Yeah.
And it was really like a love letter to older, comedic style kung fu movies, the like early Jackie Chan film, the Wushu, but like the ones that like, where somebody would fight somebody with a pair of chopsticks and stuff like that. Like that was really what it was.
Sammo Hung and Jackie Chan,
stuff like that. Yeah. And so even some of the like, because a lot of people will associate Bruce Lee with more serious kung fu movies like Enter the Dragon, but like you watch like Way of the Dragon or The Big Boss, and it's like he does do a lot of like comedic stuff in those. So it's really a love letter to that kind of shit. And but rewatching it this time, the only one I had access to was the dub. I'll tell you the sub, not the dub. And it was almost like rewatching the movie and I've never seen it before. It almost felt like a completely different film. Lucky. And it still has that over the top feel, but it felt a little bit less like a parody, if that makes sense. So it's always been one of those ones that I've held in regard as, really pushing the boundaries of what's acceptable for audiences outside of China to be like, this is entertainment. And it gets right up on that border where, because like if like some parody movies, they just go past it and it's not funny anymore. It's like stupid. And this one like touches the wall like a bunch of times, but always brings it back. And that's what's fun about it.
Well, it's kind of funny because, like, watching Stallone's documentary, which was brilliant, and he's talking about Rocky, and then he just says it's a love story, and then watching this morning with the subtitles, and I've watched it a few times with subtitles, and you forget it's actually a love story, and when after everything's said and done, so and it's just like, okay, all right, interesting. So
it's really interesting, especially coming back off. I think this was 2 years after Shaolin Soccer. If I remember correctly, Shaolin Soccer was 2002.
I can look it up.
No, 2001. So yeah, 3 years after Shaolin Soccer. Shaolin Soccer was like a huge success that made like Stephen Chow's name blow up. So
yeah, I was telling one of my friends this, but I was explaining because after I showed them this, I was like, okay, if you like this, you got to also see Shaolin Soccer. And I was saying, like, even though I also like Shaolin Soccer, it kind of feels like it does feel like a less refined version, if that makes sense. Almost because it's like it doesn't like it doesn't feel as like tightly put together in a package, as because Kung Fu Hustle just goes down smoothly the whole way through, and I still love Shaolin Soccer, but you could kind of tell it's got a bit more rough edges.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In that movie.
They were also blending two genres of like martial arts and like traditional sport film too. So it was like they were kind of mashing two things together with Shaolin Soccer, whereas this just goes straight down the kung fu film. So it had a little bit less to try and fit into.
This hit that soccer theme like in the 99, 2000, 2001, 2002. There was like tons of soccer films. Like there was and it like Beckham, there was Ladybugs, there was there was tons of soccer films coming at that time, and I think even the British version of The Longest Yard came out at that time. So like soccer was
the longest meter.
I guess I'll do my first. Oh wait, Iceman, hey, doctor's in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Dude, don't worry. Come back in 2 hours. We'll probably still be here talking about Kung Fu Hustle.
Don't worry. Soon, once you guys start to actually use the real time that the current rest of the world is on, like, and I think actually the United States is the only ones who do, and Canada are the only ones that do their
Iceman and me,
daylight savings time. We do it at the beginning of March, whereas you guys do it at the beginning of April.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
But
Iceman and me were in the same time zone, man. Germany and France, same thing. And
so a lot of history there.
A lot of good history.
Most of it's not that good.
Iceman, I love you, man. I love you. I mean, my first experience with Kung Fu Hustle was I was a kid. I had those, bootleg 24 movies in one DVD. Those sets.
I remember those.
I used to buy a lot of those bootleg movies, and we just had a lot of them. And one of them was Kung Fu movies. So you had the Bruce Lee stuff, and the first 2 movies were Kung Fu Hustle and Shaolin Soccer was in there. And man, I'm telling you, I kept rewatching Kung Fu Hustle till I broke the DVD. So I love it so much.
Impressive.
No, dude, I love it so. I also did that with the Little Mermaid DVD too, because I used to watch Under the Sea all the time. Dude, that's a banger for sure.
Oh, the old one.
Oh yeah, the original. Thank God.
Yeah.
Uninspired was sitting there like, man, wouldn't this be really good if it was live action?
I got my wish, 20 years later. Jesus.
Hey man, don't feel too bad. I broke the first DVD for Kung Fu Hustle I had to, but it was on the PSP, so those things were fragile anyway.
Dude,
as soon as you broke the plastic casing, it was useless.
Yeah, that's true. And so man, I think Kung Fu Hustle is fantastic. To me, Stephen Chow is the Tarantino of Hong Kong cinema.
Oh, totally.
Because he does exactly what Tarantino does. He pays homage to everything, but it becomes its own thing, So I think all of Stephen Chow's movies are quite good. He still does some today, however, it's more less Western focused and more Hong Kong focused in general. And man, Kung Fu Hustle is my personal favorite martial arts film. That's 100%. I think it's anime in real life, and it's beautiful.
Can't really argue with that.
As you're talking, buddy, I mean, both films, Shaolin Soccer and Kung Fu Hustle, I mean, international and just in domestic, I mean, these were major hits for him.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And just before we hop in, we got one from Julio over here.
Julio
Rangel. Bro, you gotta say it with the accent, dude. Julio. Yeah. So I was talking and watching this movie by a friend of mine. I had no desire to watch it because it really did look like a cheap parody and goofy as hell. Which, from the trailers, I will admit, it
is a cheap parody, but that's what makes it fun. It is a cheap parody. Maybe not cheap, but it's definitely not like the budget wasn't huge.
Yeah, it had I have it down. So it had 20 million budget and it made 104.9 million.
Yeah, 20 million. I mean, even in 2004, that wasn't a crazy big budget. So
and
it was a medium-sized budget at best back then.
And it is so good. Yes, it is. It is.
But still, making 5 times your budget though is pretty impressive.
Oh yeah.
Melvin. Oh wow.
I got films making 20% of their budget.
Oh yeah.
Melvin, I'm telling you, if it's Brokeback Mountain with Sydney Sweeney and Margot Robbie, I'll probably break the DVD.
How do you break a DVD? It's digital. It doesn't. It's not like a tape where it goes around on it. Never mind.
Yeah. Well, the DVD gets scratched the more you use it. That's the issue. So
I think it's the internet that might get broken, to be honest.
So I guess we can get into it. So all right, let me just check if everything is good on the slide.
I'll slide people around here so that way the live actions are in the middle.
All right. So we are good.
Like it matters. I mean, we're so tiny at this point.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself.
I mean, not very aerodynamic over here.
Blue collar, whip out the Pepsi, man. Show him who's boss.
Don't make me grab the keg.
Don't call him the Gooch for nothing.
Yeah, you guys get super chat.
Yeah, just saw it. Yeah, before we go, super chat from Iceman. Iceman, thank you, Doctor, for 20 euros. That is real money, ladies and gentlemen. It's not that weird American stuff.
You mean the basis for the world economy, American dollar, whatever.
All right, and isn't the world economy fucked right now? Thank you.
But it doesn't matter. When it was good, it was the dollar too. So it's like
I know Tur is searching for a job. Hope he finds one. Hey man, thank you. I've been going to like interviews literally all week. So hopefully by Monday I get a few calls. Really, really do hope. And I, however, signed a new contract on Friday. Ooh, nice one, man. We'll be moving to Hamburg, pocketing almost 4.5K a month plus bonuses. Jesus Christ, man.
Dude, you better be shooting us some super chats then.
Yeah.
Mr. fucking pockets lined.
Yeah, dude.
Goddamn, gonna
great,
be living out there being a damn hamburger and shit.
Dude, congratulations. And cheers to you guys and also to the whole Mr. Brown family. Hey, man, cheers to you. And of course, big shout out to Mr. Brown. Love that dude.
Congratulations on your new contract.
Yeah, dude, congrats, man. Congrats. And thank you for the super chat. And I guess we can finally hop into Kung Fu Hustle, ladies and gentlemen, which I didn't really remember that it was co-produced by Sony, actually, which is cool. Columbia Pictures.
Yeah. It's weird. Whenever I pop on one of these older movies, I often forget what company even did it, because it's not something we really paid attention to until relatively recently.
True.
Oh yeah, and well, so apparently Sony wanted to join Stephen Chow because of how successful Shaolin Soccer was. So they kind of made this movie together because Shaolin Soccer was so big, which explains, the I guess the high budget for this sort of film. Of course, it is a film by Stephen Chow.
Honestly, I was rewatching it yesterday to take notes. I forgot Colombia was even a part of this at all.
Yeah, that's me too. Me too. A film by Stephen Chow, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, butterflies over there, symbolism, something in Kung Fu Hustle. And so we start off with the chief inspector over here, and all you can hear is some dude getting his ass beat for sure. And it's just this long tracking shot that I appreciate. And,
the way they did this sequence is fantastic because it's like nobody is moving. It's almost like they're stuck in place. Like they're on pause, but we're moving around the scene.
They just see this dude crash in. It's like, all right, cool.
Yeah, and it's a great establishing shot.
Oh, and then of course we finally meet the Crocodile Gang, the Crocodile Gang leader.
Crocodile Gang.
Look at those names.
Doesn't his hat change? Because here he kind of looks like Western, and then when he puts it back on, it's kind of like a really, really flat hat. Which is
I think
weird.
It might just be the angle possibility that they didn't that they had to reshoot it, and the hat had become a little bit flatter too.
Yeah,
I thought it was just the one side.
Yeah, sometimes the hats are only folded up on one side, especially if it's like the safari style hat.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
As a reference,
the Crocodile Gang, that could be the case. It makes sense.
Yeah, as a reference to the Aussie kind of.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have an Aussie, but we have a New Zealander, so that's about as close as you can get without actually trying. But
it's true. And so the reason why he's beating up the police officers is because his woman was arrested, and normally he's supposed to be untouchable, so he's touching all these guys, just beating the shit out of them, throwing hot water, boiling water actually, on the cops, which it's a good way to show directly the world building. So I guess the gang influence on authority, what would usually be considered authority. It's just like a great way to open your movie. And man, the production value in this film is phenomenal. Really, really, really. What do you guys think about the sets that they use, especially for the street sets?
Well, it feels like almost like a Broadway musical initially, the way everyone's just walking like this and doing this.
Yeah, it has a very like West Side Story feel to it.
Yeah. Honestly, it still holds up. It's
the Far East Side Story.
Yeah, it does still hold up, man. I think it's because it's practical. That's why. So
it's definitely
a CGI nowadays.
Well, there's definitely a combination of practical street set, and they are using rear projection for sure. You could tell,
definitely.
Which is fine. I consider rear projection still be practical effect.
Yeah, I still consider it practical too.
But it definitely has like that older feel to it, it's almost like a early 90s film look. I was gonna say like
50s,
50s, 60s. Yeah,
I was thinking like because they do that. They still use this stuff in the like late 80s, early 90s. That rear projection look. So I mean, you could go back even further than that. Yes, but.
You mentioned it earlier, like Tarantino, because it's like I was watching it again today. Kill Bill. I think Kill Bill came out. Was it later that year or the next year?
Let me check it out.
Kill Bill was 2003, I believe.
Was it 2003 was volume 1, 2004 was volume 2.
Yeah, so like I think it's coincidental that they're both using that look, like the Western, the dancing, the very. I don't know if they collaborated and talked about this because I'm really curious if they did.
The fight choreographer Yuen Wu Peng, he actually choreographed Kill Bill. He choreographed The Matrix as well. So
impressive.
Yeah. Like you look up his IMDb page or his Google page.
That's the Beast, right? Is that the Beast?
No, he didn't. No, he's not in the movie.
Oh, okay.
He's not in the movie. He also choreographed Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, basically all of the Wuxia movies that you know and love. Even Iron Monkey. That
basically he choreographed the early 2000s. Like,
yeah, it's true.
Choreographed every movie, it seems.
Yeah, the most recent thing that he did was Ip Man. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
The fights in those movies are spectacular. So.
Oh yeah. Definitely. So all the mostly all the Western kung fu movies, he's the fight choreography. And hey, Smilex, my favorite author. Yes. We may be a bit biased, okay? Maybe.
Oh, I didn't even realize that we had a poll. Way to keep me in the loop.
Oh, dude, yeah, I did it just before we went live, dude. And Rakashi Rivers, I miss when practical effects were used more. Yeah, so do I, man. Really,
I'm not sure if you guys noticed too. Like off the bat, we have a cop just got his ass whooped in the middle of the police station. Everyone looks way just like, police station. The whole gang just beats the shit out of a cop, and like, man, no problem.
Yeah. Hey, Steven, hope you're doing good, man. And yeah, that's the thing. It's like because you have the Axe Gang that just pops up, which I love their theme music. The Axe Gang's theme music is just iconic to me. It's so good. And the way that they pop up too is like so
out of literally nowhere.
Yo,
a thousand dudes out of nowhere in top hats.
I love it. It's just like a ridiculous amount, like an overwhelming force. They're just unnatural.
Yeah.
Also.
Go ahead, man.
I was just gonna say that shot where he threw the axe slightly bugs me because I noticed that was way off, and then it's like they switched their backs. Like I saw that editor.
They recalibrated it. It's crazy.
His hat isn't flat. It's still curved.
Yeah, now it's curved. They fixed it. But yeah, it just shows you how crazy the Axe Gang is.
So and you know what the craziest thing that they do is that they fire machine guns in the same direction as half of their people.
Well, I love that the guys in the front are getting shot by the Gatling guns, but the other guy's running through, like the bullets are just avoiding him for some reason, and the girl in the back. It's just like all these bullets being fired, probably hundreds of bullets going, and just the four guys in the front, but not the people in the back.
It's all good.
Invisible wall running across the road.
Yeah, was that Richard?
They put an invisible wall running across the road.
Basically, yeah. And it's crazy because like if you pay attention, they kind of part like Moses in the Red Sea, dude. They're just walking, and it's just like whoop, gone.
Yeah, that is one thing. There isn't a lot of blood in this film. There's
no
considering the fact they have limbs get chopped off and people get like their head essentially like turned into a letter Z at one point in certain scenes.
Yeah,
there's not relative blood in this is pretty low.
Yeah, and considering the film is rated R, that says a lot too.
Yeah, that's weird. I think it's because the blood is used sparingly to emphasize stuff. So like the scenes that we see where the blood is used, like really used, it's mostly in very, very serious situations, which I can accept, you know. I think it's good usage, but I don't really understand why it was rated R, because it's maybe language, but even then,
I don't think it might have just been one of those things. They didn't bother to fight it. They were just happy that it got released in the United States.
Definitely, I think there's some words that are used by the landlady I won't repeat on your guys' channel, but you know.
I mean, we don't. As long as it's not something that would like literally get us immediately taken off of YouTube, you're fine. We don't worry about the advertising dollars. So say whatever.
Yeah, don't worry about that, dude. Yeah, dude. Wait, let me just highlight this comment by Jacob. You may know kung fu, but you're still a fairy. That's what the landlady says all the time.
But in the English dub though, she doesn't say fairy.
Oh, really?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
what does
she says
say in the English dub?
She says F. Just we'll say maggot. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, because I still respect you guys. I'm trying to, you never know what
of course,
and shit.
dude. And so we finally get our intro to.
I think Jay needs more context. A bundle of sticks.
There you go.
You forget I come from the bigot family.
I've used a British accent, and it's okay.
Yeah, he's a member of the bigot army. We got to watch out with him.
So we get our introduction to Brother Sum, which man, it's such a great intro because just kills and that's it. And the sheer amount of violence that this guy enjoys having too. It's like there's a point where, for example, you see when the woman is there, she's like, "Oh, please spare me, brother." I was like, "All right, I don't kill women." I actually thought that it was gonna be a dick move where he would ask one of his dudes to just kill the woman because that's what they would do in a movie today. But no, he just takes the shotgun, boom, and dances around because he's just that dude, you know.
I don't know. I bust out laughing.
Say another thing, like it was like a little bit before that scene when he kills the crocodile gang leader. I don't know. I just thought it was funny. I don't know if it was intentional or not. But like the guy is trying to like tell him to basically like spare his life. He's like, wait. Don't you remember when you came to my house for dinner? And then he just killed. He just starts hacking away. He doesn't even answer. I was like, damn, that must have been.
Do you remember what? I was like, do you remember when I treated you to dinner that one time?
It's like and it's done. Oh, Tim Stock. Hey, man. Yes, we do need the great, the exceptional, the immensely talented, the best of the best Zack Snyder to remake Kung Fu Hustle.
So this movie already has slow-mo in it. How slow can he get that slow-mo if he was to remake this?
Well, the axe right there. Now imagine it's like this.
Well, here's the thing: is Zack Snyder would not only the axe would hit, and then he would do like 7 hard cut jumps around the leg.
He would, dude. And that's like one thing is like there's slow motion throughout this entire movie, but the slow mo is used very well. It's used to emphasize punches and like really, really used to emphasize hits, and it just adds to that anime feel, you know, because whenever you get hit in anime, there's, the delay between the punch connecting and the punch will stay in the person's face for about 2-3 seconds.
Yeah, they do that. Like
then they get launched.
A lot of times, one of the ones like Dragon Ball, Yu Yu Hakusho, a lot of like the more martial arts based ones will do that like gut punch where the guy goes like and like sits there for like and then flies away. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, it's just so well made. All those types of things, I just felt like is done with a purpose. Like even like the blood, as you mentioned before, every time that they used it, it's done because they want to give you that impact. They don't just, here's some blood. Like even with the hits and stuff and where they in slow-mo, they use it sparingly, and I appreciate that.
Oh yeah. And what a nice frame to stop on. Yes, of course. One thing I really do appreciate about Kung Fu Hustle is that it doesn't shy away from showing you how ruthless the Axe Gang is. They're not a comedic thing. It's not like the KKK in Red Dead Redemption 2 where they just set themselves on fire by accident all the time. And it's like, these dudes are actually there. They're killing people, and they show it to us explicitly. And once again, these great shots of 1940s Shanghai that they're trying to emulate, these are all built. You can tell that this is like real sets. And what we learn is that the Axe Gang basically rules the big cities, all of Shanghai. So all of these clubs are for them. All this violence is them because they're trying to be the number one. And of course, axes are everywhere. And this is the amount of money that they're making per day, basically, through all of their businesses. That's what we like to call them.
The money. That's one thing that I've always found interesting about like currency in a lot of these Asian films is like a lot of times it's like almost like a full size sheet of paper.
Yes, so, it's huge.
Yeah, it's like a fat. It's like an envelope. It's like a size of an envelope, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's got to be really annoying to cart around.
I love this whole scene here. They show money.
Like the 19th century, wasn't it?
Yeah,
go ahead.
I think so.
No, I'll just say it was funny here. This montage. So they show money, they're dancing. They show more death and destruction, they're dancing again. More death and destruction. They keep adding to the dance number as they're showing different crimes being committed. And the dancing is so stupid, but then it's so well choreographed at the same time.
Yeah, they're like Disney villains, just so evil for no reason.
That's true. Yeah. And it's like it does. Okay, so I googled Chinese paper money from the Yeah, it does. It is actually just huge stacks, man. This is backstage.
This is backstage
I
uninspired
wish,
YouTube
you know,
office.
I wish.
No, you want to know what the backstage of two hoes looks like? It's two idiots who think we know what we're doing, and a guy who has an obsession with color coordinating his schedule, being me.
Like a kindergartner.
Yeah. I'm glad I'm not alone in that then.
Yeah.
And of course, the X Gang, ladies and gentlemen. What a good introduction to them. And yeah, that's how it is. So what we do get is a sort of title intro just before we arrive at the Pig Sty Alley. And what the title intro says is that the gangs have basically taken control of all the major cities, except in the slums, because the slums are basically undesirable. There is no economic aspect to it as to why the gangs would want to rule over there. So they kind of
there's
just
no
leave them
value
alone.
to having those areas. They don't produce.
Yeah, exactly.
People can live in peace because this is very peaceful.
It's especially, and when you think about it, it's like China doesn't really have a lot of United States, a lot of other, has a lot. I know that France has several. Canada has like mostly the whole border, has a lot of cities. China doesn't have a lot of like really major metropolitan areas. It's mostly tracts of farmland for extremely long like areas. You have like Beijing, you have Hong Kong, you have, and then, but it's like, so that a lot of these like slums do exist even to this day.
Yeah. This is actually a reference to a walled city in China that was in the 1940s as well. It was an actual city. Now it doesn't exist anymore, but it was an actual like walled city. And so yeah, it does reference that. And of course, we meet all of our characters of Pig Sty Alley. So in the dub, what do they call it? Pig Sty, right?
I think they do call it Pig Sty Alley or something like that.
Yeah, it's Pig Sty. This set, when I watched it today, I was like, where have I seen this set before? Besides this film, and I can't put my finger on it. I know I've seen this set used in one or two other films. And I was just curious if you had that, if you dug into it.
Maybe.
Yeah, I've seen it.
I don't know. I assumed that they had built it specifically for Kung Fu Hustle, but now I'm not sure.
Yeah, so I'm just looking really quickly at like the city breakdowns for China. So districts administered municipalities, they only actually have 4 in the entire country, whereas like a lot of major other major populated areas. So their slums and their smaller cities are still highly overpopulated just because of their total population. But but a majority of their cities are considered prefecture level cities, which would be essentially like a town in most
I see what you mean. Well, of course, we get our introduction to oh wait, someone said it. Yes, there it is, Mr. E. Thank you, Mr. E. The walled city Kowloon was in Hong Kong. Yes, thank you. That was what I was thinking of. Yes, thank you very much. And yeah, so we finally get a look at what Pig Sty Alley's, a day in the life looks like. And yeah, it's kind of a dire situation, man.
It's like me doing my Shiko drills.
Ooh. Yeah, so we meet Cooley, we meet the tailor, just kind of a good intro to everyone, the noodle maker, who they call Donut. Yeah, that's his name, Donut.
I mean, I think he makes pastries in general, so.
Oh yeah, pastries. And of course the landlord, there he is. And I just love the way that it's an actual set. You can see that everyone is there doing their business, and like, yeah, this is Pig Sty, ladies and gentlemen. This is where most of like a lot of the movie is going to happen, and it's great.
Yeah.
And yeah, there he is, the tailor with the landlord. The landlord is kind of a creepy dude, I guess that's what you could say.
They're all like, they're all pretty creepy people, to be honest with you. They're all just kind of weird people.
Yeah, they're all just unique people, of course.
I mean, he walks and grabs a tail right in the ass. He just smacks him in the butt, squeezes it. Hey, what's up, buddy? Like, what the hell?
Yeah,
it's kind of a village full of weirdos. One of the side characters, just has the booty cheeks all out the entire.
Yeah. This dude,
this guy.
Yeah, this dude is fantastic, man. Just there's like, hey, landlady, there's no water. The water is off.
Like, I was in the middle of a shampoo.
He lives his life and nobody tells him, hey, pull your pants up.
But the funny part is like the way that it looks, he only has it the way that I don't even know how that would work. It's like the ass is out, but the front band is all the way up to his waist.
Right.
So, like, it doesn't make sense.
And it keeps it to the entire movie. He's literally in the last shot of the movie. I don't know if you guys saw him. He's in the last shot of the movie on the far right in the background.
He's still doing that because
I
isn't he like the barber of the town?
He is the barber of the town.
Yeah,
yes.
and he still is wearing his pants like that while he's cutting people's hair.
Yep.
Like I said,
I totally understand it. I totally
movie
understand.
has the booty cheeks all out like that the whole movie. Even in the end, that Uninspired was talking about, he's rapping to some girl in the background. Booty cheeks still out.
Yep.
Yeah.
So weird.
It's the way to get air to the gooch. I understand it. I do it.
That's a bad way to take a shower, man. What is it? It's a pipe with a dangling sock. It's like grabbing your water.
Yeah. Yeah.
The walled city of Kowloon was in Hong Kong.
Yeah, dude. I said this like where were you 5 minutes ago, dude?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm going to say it in a minute and act like I already know.
Yeah. So we finally meet the landlady, and the landlady is basically drive-by roasting everyone because they're complaining about the water. She's like, "Yep, you need to pay rent. You need to pay rent." And this is right after she slaps the dude who is asking for water, and his flip-flop comically flies into the air like a cartoon.
That happens a lot with the clothes. Like that was one way that they had of emphasizing like people getting their shit like knocked out was that like clothes would just fly in directions.
Oh yeah. And
I love that too. It's like straight up anime. Just
Smilex says she was in the Golden Gun. The man
yes.
with the Golden Gun.
So the thing is that all of these old actors that you see. So for example, Donut, the Tailor, and all of the older people, even the Beast, they're all huge stars from Hong Kong cinema in the 70s. That basically Stephen Chow brought back as since it's a homage to all of the olden Chinese cinema. He basically brought all of them back and put them in like big roles. So
she was uncredited. She was uncredited as Nara, Hip's niece, #1.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
I know the Beast was with a lot of. He was in a few Jackie Chan films, and he was. I think he was like. I think he was like one of the Bruce Lee, copies back in the day. And like he was from that era. I knew that for sure.
I always loved what they did. What they would do is it would be like Bruce Lee, but with L-I.
Yeah,
that way it'd be like technically not. Yeah, Bruce Lee. So I'm just looking at her filmography real quick here. She actually has a very interesting filmography of most of her roles, at least on the Wikipedia version. I mean, it might be different on the IMDb. Have no actual name of the character. It's just she was in the movie and it's no role. So,
well, even here she's just credited as landlady. So,
I mean, she is.
Yeah.
What did they call her at the end? They called him the.
They call her Helen of Troy, and they call him. I forget his name. It's the Paris. Yeah, Paris and Helen of Troy.
Again, something I have to mention. Like, I'm watching the subtitle version, just small things. In the dub version, when he's talking to her about his the water, he goes, "Well, I've already to take my monthly shampoo." But that's in the dub version, but the subtitle version they don't mention it. But it's like you don't get to shower. You don't get to shower your head once a month. But like, why had that be in the dub version, but not the actual version? That's weird.
It's like the line from the second episode of Shogun where he's like, "You expect me to bathe more than once a month? I might get." I forget what the sickness was that he says, but it's like.
Small jokes like that where it's like you get shampoo your head once every 30 days.
Is that the difference between China? Like, and I'm not being.
Just go ahead, Gooch.
You're a member of the bigot army. Just embrace the bigot.
Is that the difference between China and Japan? Because like Japanese are like they cleanse themselves every day, like once or twice a day, actually. Where the Chinese it's because there's a lot of Mongolian.
It might not be a cultural thing. It might have just been it might just be the fact that there's a lot of poor people especially in around the time that this was supposed to be in China. It's just you might just not have access to that. Whereas Japan historically had more, higher GDP, I guess is what we would call it nowadays. But historically, the trade was better because they didn't people wanted to be with that, and they also the smaller kingdoms. Well, no, the smaller kingdoms, because they fought each other, like the kingdoms that made more money and were better with their finances just rose to the top in Japan. So
you left our ego, man. Hey, good to see you in the chat, dude. Thank you. Hope you're having a great day, dog. And so this scene is the part where he got kissed when he was visiting the tailor with what do they call her? They call her Bucktooth Jane or Rabbit Tooth Jane. That's what they call
Rabbit Tooth Jane. Yeah,
she's got the the big like prosthetic teeth on, or
Yes, huge prosthetic teeth. And of course, the funniest part is that he's in front of the showers right now, and his wife pops up and he's like, "Yeah, what are you doing?" "Oh, I'm looking for peeping toms." The woman comes out of the shower, and then he asks her, "He's like, hey, did you see anyone spying on the ladies in the shower?" Then she just points at him. It's like, "Hey, how you dare point at me?" It's like, "You're crazy, woman." It's so good, you know.
Well, he's got the lipstick on the cheek, and it's just like he's guilty, like right off the hop.
It's like it's so obvious.
It's like,
It's so good. Yeah, and so of course she just kills him, I guess, basically, you know. Falls from like
falls from like a third-story window, and a potted plant falls on his head.
Yeah, with the blood that has like really
and
good
he
comedic
bleeds.
timing. Yeah,
Reminds me of the scene from Billy Madison where the clown falls over.
Now, is the book, the manga, is that from, I guess, is it Japanese or is it Chinese? The story,
the
original version,
Kung Fu Hustle.
Yeah,
I think Kung Fu Hustle is an original thing. Actually, I'm not sure if it's based on any
Chinese.
Chinese.
Yeah,
is it a Chinese? Okay.
Yeah, it's Chinese, but it's not based on any books or anything like that. I think it's an original story from Stephen Chow and the other writers that.
I thought there was a manga and anime.
Maybe after the fact.
Maybe
after. Okay,
Yeah,
okay, that makes sense.
That shit would be crazy.
That's true. Yeah, and yeah. So of course, he's not dead, ladies and gentlemen. Just saying. And we get our first introduction to what Sing and Bone. So Bone is the fat dude, and Sing is our main character. And they're pretending to be the Axe Gang members, and what they plan on doing is basically just scamming people in villages, because the Axe Gang's presence isn't really that big in villages, as we said before, but their notoriety is still known, except in this village where no one gives a fuck, and they just, all right, cool, you're the Axe Gang, you're trying to blackmail me? Nope. They just want to gang up on him, which
great. It's the best scene in the whole movie.
One of the funniest scenes ever, dude.
I actually interpreted it slightly differently. I actually felt like they were just like way smarter than them, and they just like saw through it, and they were like, these guys are not real Axe Gang members, because they did act a bit differently when actual Axe Gang members showed up. So I felt like they just saw through their,
Well, they are actual members. They're just like not as important as that.
No, they're not. They're not members, dude.
I thought they were members.
No.
Yeah,
they're just using the name to try and scam people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So maybe I've just missed out on that. Like I never thought on that.
They're trying to be members. So what they want to do is like they want to go and I guess try and make a name for themselves, and then try and become members. So what they do is he's of course trying to blackmail the barber, and the barber isn't having any of it. So the entire townsfolk are like, yeah, no, we're not having any of this either. So what they do is he just decides to try and fight one-on-one.
Whoever.
Yeah. So he calls up this woman, says, "Hey, woman, let's fight." She gives him one punch.
He's coughing up blood.
He coughs up blood, and to me, it's like Stephen Chow's reactions really sell this scene. The speed at which he just changes his face and his emotions are really, really, really good. And he's like, "Hey, woman, what do you do to punch so hard like that? I'm a farmer." Man, get out of here. Exactly.
You, shorty.
Yeah. His head's below everyone else's shoulders. Yeah, he keeps picking on the weakest people.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind fighting this guy. This dude, like the skinniness level is insane. Like he is the lankiest individual I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I mean,
that
but
reach,
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar also,
but the reach doesn't really matter that much if the arm snaps on the punch. If it's like
yeah. Then of course you've got this buff
old man.
Fantastic.
He's got the body of like they both have the body of like
hey kid, get over here. You see something?
Enter the Dragon.
To me, it's crazy because he picks out the old dude. He's like, no, not you. I meant. And then he really points his finger like the other direction. It's like, no, I meant you, kid. Let's scramble, dude. Kid just pops up like, fuck yeah, dude.
None of you can fight in this town.
Yeah, exactly. You guys are lucky. Like I'm not trying to beat up an old man. Like I'm not trying to hit a woman and they're a woman.
Okay, I want to play a slight game here. Okay, of all 4 of the ones that he calls out, who does everybody want to fight the most? I said I'll fight the tall guy. Who does everybody want to fight the most here?
Tall, skinny guy.
Yeah.
All right, wait, let me. So there's the kid.
Yeah. I'd probably have to go with the tall guy too, because maybe since I'm short, I could probably outspeed him. I could I could do some capoeira and trip him or something.
Capoeira.
Honestly, he, like a swift kick to the leg, that guy's going down.
Oh,
exactly.
Yeah. You're reading my mind. I good. Chop that tree down just right to the back of the calf or at the knee. Yeah.
The last one I would want to fight is this prodigy child for sure.
What about you, Richard?
I'm different.
I'd fight the tall guy outside. I hope he got it windy and it was blown away.
So we're all in agreement. Of the 4, we're gonna fight the tall guy.
No,
I'm thinking the kid,
that kid. Fuck that.
I'm fighting the kid, dude. Chris, I'm with you, dude. Like, because
drop kicking that kid.
He's a kid.
Child abuse.
He's
Exactly.
Not in China.
Come
Not
on.
in China.
Why do you got to bring up Sword Little Boy again there?
There's labor laws and child abuse laws are way different in China. Don't worry, we'll get away with it.
Remember,
I'm telling you, I'm fighting the kid.
That don't exist.
That kid he may seem jacked, but look at the size difference, though.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking about.
This kid has a full-time job and probably has a child of his own on the way to China. Okay?
No, but I agree. I'm with Chris. I'd fight the kid because he's short. So I guess I would
go like this. I'd put my hand out like he's swinging at you. Like, come on, guy.
Yeah, exactly. A good kick, man, in the face. Yeah, he'd be down, dude.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. The last one I want to fight is either him or the woman. I'll accept the tall guy and the jacked old man. I'll
what?
fight
You'd accept fighting this dude?
I would not want to fight the jack.
I fought that guy today.
I tell you guys,
take them all on.
I seen this old man. I was 50 years old. This old black guy built like a statue, beat the shit out of freaking 3 black kids that were 18 years old. Because experience, man. I'm like, oh, fuck you, old man, whoop your ass. This old man beat the shit out of 3 fucking bloods at the same time. And I'm like,
fuck yeah, dude.
Oh, wow. Because the guy was just fucking all sinew. He's just like, fuck like this. I'm like, damn, dude, 1-arm pull-ups and stuff in the rec room. I was like, holy shit.
If Iceman, if you're asking why this kid isn't at work, he's probably late for his shift. That's why he's trying to get this fight going as quickly as possible.
Yeah, kick the kid in the face. That's the French cat. Fuck yeah, I kicked this dude in the face.
He's the forklift that brought all the Nike shoes over to the shipment truck. That's what he does.
Oh, he's the kid from for only a penny a day you can get this kid
get this kid whey protein shakes.
Yeah,
he's already.
I mean, that's why the kid is ready to fight.
Like,
he's late for work.
Wile E. Coyote behind him,
slowing him down,
jacking up his muscles.
What was that, Richard? What was that?
The kid looks like there's a Wile E. Coyote behind him with a pump jacking up his muscles.
All right, we've spent too much time on this.
Yeah, see, the boys got iPhones to make. Oh yeah,
yeah.
Telling you, that's his job. He as soon as they build the shipment, like the pallet, he puts his arms in the side of the pallet and puts it up on the truck. That's his job.
But
look at me, I'm like warming up my shoulder like I'm actually gonna fight these people.
but shout out to the CGI though. CGI looks good. CGI looks good
even today looks good.
Jack stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. For sure. And of course the landlady comes in because the barber brought out the landlady and said he tried to blackmail me. So she just, like your average African mom or Arab mom, she just whips out the sandals.
Or Hispanic.
Hispanic moms are like that too. Yeah. They have a term for it. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but
yeah, it's flip flop chew. That's what they call it. Flip flop food. Probably.
Yeah. I'll look it up. I know that there's like a term they use.
The amount of times I got my ass whooped by my mom with flip flops. Oh Lord!
Did you guys notice too how she walks out now? You see the Axe Gang as they're walking. The clouds start coming black and gray, and the lightning and stuff in the background. It's pretty cool.
It's cool because so he's basically being chased by the Axe Gang, and what happens is that he says, "Oh, I'm gonna call backup," which he doesn't have. Realistically, he does not have backup, and he lights a firecracker and throws it in the back, and of course, it actually ends up being on the Axe Gang. So it works out in his favor, but and there it is, Chris, what you were saying before, absolute anime stuff, and I don't know, I think it's good because it starts out comedic, and one thing that's really good is that it starts out very comedic, but once they actually fight, and there's this dude that gets his spine broken, their leader basically, in an instant, and no one saw what happened. because he was about to hit the barber, because the barber was was disrespecting him. Technically, he was just standing his ground, of course.
Yeah.
They use fireworks to call in for reinforcements. Yeah, Blue Collar is the drunken master, man.
Oh, dude.
He's
Yeah.
gonna use all the techniques.
You see this head? This is take a lot of shots, man.
And one thing that's cool is that every time they call for backup in this movie, there's fireworks involved, which it's really fun, especially the fact that it actually has the shape of an axe too.
Yeah, I don't even know how, like, what kind of math would be required to make this happen.
That would, I feel like that'd just be damn near impossible. Also, I love the little effect that, like, when they come in, when they're walking into like the clouds and everything just get dark.
Just there, it's beautiful.
It's like, oh man,
I do
yeah, like a rainstorm is following.
Yeah.
Them.
Exactly.
Sorry to like say this, but like
Just
they're in
purely-
China. You're wondering how they got the fireworks to work.
Yeah, Chinese
they're in
fireworks
China.
thing.
Like, yeah, that's their thing.
So I do like two landladies right there. She shows that, okay, look, right now in the film, the landladies all talk and shit, and she's kind of a coward. She runs away and she hides.
Oh yeah,
So
like
I'm
a Looney
wow.
Tunes
I was
person.
like, wow,
too.
yeah. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
she's just like she's all bark and no bite, because that definitely won't change later on during the film.
Oh yeah, but it's interesting because especially at this point in the movie where you don't know that she's a martial arts master as well, the fact that she runs away, it kind of just plays into the fact that they fear the Axe Gang in general, you know, even in the provinces like this.
Well,
And,
that's also something I always tell people, because I get asked this a lot. And I think I put it in my first video I ever did, is that one of the things I get always asked is, what is the best martial art for self-defense? And I always say track and field. And what I mean by that is knowing that you are in a bad situation, getting the fuck out of that situation is the best thing you could do for self-preservation. You fight as a last-ditch effort. And this scene basically exemplifies that.
Yeah. Ran away like a Looney Tunes character, all the way under her sheets and everything. So completely
For
wrong.
real.
Yeah.
And of course, the entire Axe Gang comes, and what they do is they just take the village hostage. And this is where you really see the brutality of the Axe Gang and the seriousness that it treats them with. Because I don't think that it would have been as interesting if the Axe Gang wasn't shown as violent as they are, you know, because what they want to do is they're literally about to burn a kid and his mom there,
and several other people, actually, because there was other people that were I'm assuming it was either ethanol or gasoline was thrown on.
Yeah,
yeah,
and it's like they would have done it for sure,
because he threw a lighter. I already knew what his intent was.
Oh yeah, and I just love the way that the Axe Gang as well really is just the emphasis of strength in numbers and cruelty, but there's no real competence involved, because you can't hire competent people if you're hiring that many people. You see what I mean? It's just basically strength in numbers at that point.
Basically, Disney's hiring practices.
You know, the small thing on this part right there, I'm looking at 21. The leader, he shows his face, his close up. What's up with the bad? Like, this guy never met a toothbrush. Oh my god.
Well, yeah, they actually that's a running thing. Almost a lot of them have really terrible teeth in this. Like, I think that's just to emphasize that they're poor. It's a different time. They're poor in poor areas. Hygiene was like dental hygiene wasn't really a big thing until like the 20th century was when it really started to become a big deal. In a lot, you know, so.
Yeah, and of course, Cooley, the dude who had all the Jay, who was just there, in the beginning of the movie doing his daily sports. That's him coming to save them with the lighter, of course. And we get our first proper fight of the movie, ladies and gentlemen. So let me play the clip. Beware your ears. Hopefully, I think StreamYard has balanced out the audio, but a lot of these clips are loud.
Turn it down.
So
give it to us.
Just in case. All right, let's go. Hell yeah, dude.
Creepy how we're synced on perfectly right now. I'm watching the film.
One thing I will say about this, the first guy, I don't know, I can't ever remember any of their names.
Which guy?
The first one, Cooley, was that
Cooley,
it? Not
Cooley,
the one with
yeah.
the rings on his arm.
Yeah, Cooley is the dude, the first guy, and then the guy with the rings is just the tailor. They don't give him a name.
Hey Z, yes, it is the Shang-Chi prequel.
Well, he's either the fairy or the tailor.
Yeah, fairy or tailor. Exactly. That's it.
Yeah.
He actually, of all the kung fu movies I've watched over the years, he uses some of the most legitimate kicking technique I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like he's doing like kickboxing style teep kicks, and everything about his kicks is actually pretty solid. So
Yep.
Even the sound effects, man. This is like one of the movies where I think sound effects and score are 10 out of 10, pure 10 out of 10s for me. Literally, I think even objectively. Hey, for the sake of comments. Oh, Bad Storm. Oh, right. Good luck with that.
No excuses. You get here in time. Okay.
Yeah, and
we treat this like a job. You be here on time, or you better have a doctor's note for your damn hole digging or whatever you were doing.
So Iceman does make a good point. So Matrix Reloaded, and of course, for the sake of comment, says Kill Bill as well. I know I'd say more it's Matrix Reloaded, and
yeah, I definitely
without the
would
bad
say
CGI.
I would say that this was very this would have came out around the same time as Matrix Reloaded, right?
1 year later.
1 year later. Yeah, it's probably making it
2003.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, then this was probably taking a stab at that scene, the Mr. Smith scene.
Well, the Cooley character, he actually ran. They say that I just read it up. He ran a Shaolin temple.
Ooh.
He actually has he uses the Chinese kung fu and Shaolin temple arts. So take that for what it is.
Based on where you're, for the sake of comments, based on where you're located, I'm surprised you have internet at all. Just messing with you. It's the same joke I do to Cynic whenever he has to go up to Maine.
Go ahead, Richard.
I like how the guy in the at the very, very back, just above the two axis, is having the best time of his life.
Which guy are you talking about? The
behind the guy with the rings on his arm. He's close to the guy with the top hat on.
Oh, yeah.
His mates.
One dude looked stoned out of his mind. Like one directly above his fist.
Yeah,
it's like staring right at the axe. Like this is whoa. This could cut through
anything. They just did a line of cocaine before I came here. What are we doing?
Oh, now you're talking my language.
For what would be considered a parody movie, the choreography is 10 out of 10. The score is 10 out of 10, and the sound effects that they use. They do reference, of course, the old Wuxia films and the sound effects that were there, of course. But this one just, to me, makes the sound effects more realistic, because every time Cooley is punching someone in the clip that we saw, like punching or kicking, it just really, it's a very dry whack sound. It doesn't seem like over the top or cartoonish. You know what I mean?
No, I get what you mean 100%. Honestly, it's funny because I don't remember who mentioned like Rocky before. But like in the very first Rocky movie, the sound effects were just, in my opinion, just very bad. It sounded like this man was slapping, I don't know, the table when he was hitting, bruh. Like,
honestly, Rocky, as much as I love that series, even the bad movies, except for 5, the sound effects for the punches, they never quite figured that out until probably Rocky Balboa. The first 5 movies couldn't. Yeah, the first 5 movies could not figure out the sound effects for punches. You get to like number 4, and it sounds like cannons going on. It's like
they just embraced, like, what, screw it, guys. We're already 4 movies deep.
They're like, can we get a howitzer sound? We'll just use that. It'll be fun.
I gotta leave. I can't be here. You guys besmirch my god, my movie. Like,
as well as anybody. I know. It's over there, the poster. I'm going to be critical about it. The sound effects for the punches were never good.
They were horrible. They were horrible.
Best defense. Just take 3,000 shots to the face and don't block at all.
That's how I boxed. That's how I boxed. That's why I don't do it anymore. About seven concussions later, I was like, yeah, I need my brain for a lot of things.
I'm still shocked that it took the fifth.
It is a love story after all.
Rocky 5. Now he has brain damage. Oh wow! After 4 films, I'm shocked.
After getting punched in the face by a chemically enhanced Russian, they don't say.
Yeah, and Mr. E, you do make a point. Yeah, Chinese and French film sound effects are far more muted compared to Western movies. That is true, especially early. I would say late 90s to early 2000s French movies, especially the early 2000s stuff. La Haine, and also the French horror scene, of course, where they really have to use sound effects. I think it's really good, and I just think it adds to realism of the film of what you're watching.
Chinese films they're actually hitting each other and shooting each other, so that's not sound effects. That's just the actual event occurring.
Yeah, on this one, yeah, and of course,
but American films and like more Western films, they've caught up to that. The sound effects have gotten so much better over the last 20 years. They've really perfected it now. Now they just need to stop overusing visual effects, and we'll be right to where we need to be.
Yeah, I'm surprised there wasn't a William scream in this movie.
What was that, Jalen?
No, I was just saying that's the new problem they have is just all the CGI. And listen, I don't have a problem with CGI. I think CGI could be utilized very well. I love the way Thanos looked in Infinity War. I don't know what happened in Endgame, but the CGI they just overdo it. Like even a lot of the backgrounds are CGI. Like why?
Yeah, like I said, they used the clearly rear projection for the very wide shots of city streets, and it was fine. It was.
Well, we definitely move on, but
if you look really close, it's not. But who cares?
Well, even the current Roadhouse, I noticed there was CGI in fight scenes with Jake Gyllenhaal and Conor McGregor in a fight scene with two guys. You're putting CGI into bar fights now? Like what?
The only thing I liked the CGI fight sequences was Blue Eye Samurai, where they used the CGI and animated on top of it. I thought it was brilliant. I appreciated that. Other than that, CGI is just I don't know.
Also, I saw Stephen Rosen say, where's the diversity? There's a queer character in it, okay?
There is. Yeah, there is. There are good diversity in here. It's kind of modern.
And Smilex praising that's what Sylvester Stallone is to Italians. Rocket Raccoon is to not Rocket Raccoon. The otter from Guardians is to his people. So that's
and speaking of CGI, look at the CGI here. It works in the film's favor to have. I guess. I don't even know if it's outdated CGI. It's kind of like cartoony CGI, but just adds to what the movie is trying to do. So I think it works in its favor the more dated the CGI looks, which is interesting because you don't.
It works for this movie especially because it's supposed to be walking the line of total parody and love letter. So
true. I think it works because of how over the top the film already is. So it doesn't really feel too out of pocket.
Yeah, and they use a lot of practical with the wiring effects, like the normal kung fu martial arts movies that you see. The wiring is good, really good, especially for this dude. The Donut is his name. Fantastic, man. Look at this.
Powered bamboo stick.
What do you mean wiring? I could do that. What do you mean?
I've always loved staffs. I've always loved bamboo staffs they use in these kung fu movies. They get that whipping feel to them that because they swing it and part of it stands back and it snaps down and people can't see what I'm doing with my hand because we're it goes it's and it's such a cool effect that they've done in a lot of. They do it with spears a lot too. We saw it in
lightsaber.
Say again?
Modern day lightsaber.
Hey, that's actually that. So there is a history of light whips in the beloved expanded universe. So it's not really people who are being what is this now? That's been around for a while. Don't worry.
I think for a first fight scene it really just shows what the movie is capable of and it hooks you in directly. It's you guys thought that this was a parody movie? Well, let's show you some of the best martial arts you've seen in the past decade. Especially considering this is at a time where The Matrix came out and The Matrix was all the craze right before all of this. It's yep, we're doing this. And it's great to have a film like this stand out in a period where there was so much competition. And I think the fact that helps it out is the diversity of the martial arts that are used. So in this one fight, you have the dude that's using, I guess they call it in the movie, the iron fist technique. Then you've got the normal basic martial arts that Cooley uses. Then the staff martial arts that Donut uses as well. So it's just this really, really cool melting pot of different martial arts versus these random dude. It's great.
I love it.
Well, yeah, each one has a specialty, right? That's what separates. Like they all have the basics, but they have one specialty that makes them, who they are. And it's kind of like it's kind of like Marvel. Yeah, they all can fight, but one has lasers, one has that's what you love about this film. Like it comes across as like organic, actually. Like it's just not, like, even though it's to the extreme, but it's like natural.
Totally agree.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Talking about the sound effects and stuff, Mr. E, I like how he used the actual sound filmed on the scene during the last heist. I actually you're gonna love my next video then, because I literally just recorded part of it the other day. I'm talking about that scene from Heat and how they all the craziness that went into like how they recorded it and stuff. And I did it in a very condensed fashion. So
nice. And yeah, so I mean, moving on, right now we have Sting and Bone, who were caught and basically blamed by the Axe Gang because the Axe Gang got their asses whooped by random people in Pig Sty Alley. And so what they're doing is they're kind of blaming these guys because they use their name. And what Singh sees as an opportunity, because he does want to join the Axe Gang. And what he does is he cuts a deal with Brother Sum, the leader of the Axe Gang. And the deal is that he'll kill someone and he joins the gang if he does. Which, I mean, we'll see how that goes eventually. But once again,
they also find out he's a really good lock picker.
A lock picker, yes, thank you. Yeah, they do. So that is the first instance of showing that he's, I guess, above average. Because they do emphasize that a lot of people here are average people, except for Kung Fu masters who can do above average stuff. And of course, this does become relevant in the third act. But for now, he's just like a normal dude. And I took this still because I just wanted to show you guys, man. Look at how beautiful this is. 1940s Shanghai set.
Yeah, I definitely like the neon lights and stuff. Looks really cool.
It's incredible. Yeah, and so what brothers and so what Sting and Singh and Bone are doing they're trying to see what methods they could use to kill someone and join the gang. They're like, we have ambition, not like these beggars behind us, while picking up like a cigarette.
Yeah.
And they're also like standing like directly in front of them and also kind of looking like beggars.
Yes, exactly. It's so good. And this is where we kind of understand that Sting learned the Buddhist palm kung fu technique from a random madman in the street that wanted to sell it to him for
homeless guy
and ripped him off.
Yeah, ripped him off. It's like, this is one of a kind. I'll sell it to you for $10. Like, yep, done with the
manual was only 50 cents. I remember that. He ripped this little kid off.
So one thing that they really do specify here, which becomes relevant later on, is that he considers Sting as a kid to have the bone structure and chi flow of a kung fu genius, which of course becomes relevant in the third act. And the only thing that he needs to do to be, and I quote, invincible, is that he needs to channel his chi flow properly. Which, because I know that a lot of people that I've discussed the film with have some complaints about the third act, saying that he just becomes invincible and overpowered out of nowhere. But the film does a lot to set it up. Once you see almost every time you see him on screen. So yeah.
Well, it gets explored when like he's in that
I think it's a street light.
Street tower, street light and whatever it is, and you see that like he like all the indentations of his power being used in there, like the hint that he's developing it. So I don't know why someone would have that argument, because like there's always hints of it throughout the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did set that up pretty well. It was like it was something that they kind of tried to imply was like deep within him, but it needs to kind of be brought out, and they kind of did foreshadow it in that scene, because after that he would just, let's be blunt, he was like very gravely injured. So they kind of did foreshadow how it would fully come out at the end, you know.
Yeah, and hey, Blair to Blair, good to see you, man. And yeah, this to me is probably the most iconic shot of Kung Fu Hustle. Every time I think of Kung Fu Hustle, this specific shot comes directly to my mind. The dude holding the lollipop, which is kind of weird because a lot of people wouldn't really think that this is, pure Kung Fu Hustle. But yes, it's fantastic. And what we learn is that he is getting beat up because he wanted to help a girl because he learned, Buddhist Tom Fu, like Buddhist Tom Kung Fu. He thought that he could fight, and he ends up getting beat up and pissed on, which is really, really sad.
That's my favorite shot.
Yeah, the movie really needed to show you that he not only got his ass whooped, but he had to get pissed on afterwards to really nail it home.
That's right. Dominate your opponents, just pee on them.
That was normal in San Quentin, so I just.
Oh God!
It kind of
when the water pressure was down, that's just how you showered.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's sterile.
It's kind of like when you're in elementary school and then you watch like anime like Naruto and then you think you just beat up all the bullies, but then they
basically
anyway.
Yeah.
The years of me watching movies like this and thinking like what fighting was, and then later in life when I realized what it actually was, I wish I can go back and slap my younger self in the face. Like, stop being an idiot.
Well, what I really do like is the way that they managed to shift tones so well throughout this entire film. So we said it before, the fight was serious between Cooley and Cooley and the gang.
Cooley and the gang.
Cooley and the gang. Nice.
Yes, that's what, is it an actual reference? It might be, to be honest.
It's a reference to Cool and the Gang right there.
Yeah, Cool and the Gang.
I didn't even really think of that.
Yeah, so it's like that became serious, and then we got this kind of unserious part where it was explaining the Buddhist palm. You're like, oh man, and then here it just becomes really, really serious, where he's just a kid getting bullied. So I just really love the shift in tones and the way that they managed to nail that. It's on the level of something that Edgar Wright would do, and it's just what really makes this movie work, in my opinion.
No, I agree.
Yeah, and then of course, we finally see the lollipop girl all grown up, and she recognizes Singh directly, but Singh doesn't recognize her.
Exactly.
She's beautiful.
Yeah, she's gorgeous, actually.
Yeah.
Her real name is
Huang.
Apologies.
It's Huang Shengyi.
Shengyi.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, I'm not good with. I'm sorry, I'm not good with Chinese names.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
I'm barely good with American names.
Yeah, and then of course they steal her ice cream and run away. Yeah, go ahead.
And laugh at her.
I said, in keeping with my my tradition from last week that I started.
Yes,
I attempted. I couldn't find any legitimate nudes. So
yeah,
this woman just they were all fake ones.
And once again,
that would be a running gag every time going forward.
Once again, just the emphasis on the set design, the production design is absolutely fantastic, really, really good. Just, wow. And so at this point in the film, we go back to the Pig Sty Alley, and in Pig Sty, the landlady is scolding the Kung Fu masters who did not know that the three of them were Kung Fu masters living here. And one thing I do like is that it kind of emphasizes the fact that it adds to the world building,
Smilex agreed with you, by the way.
Yeah, I agree. And it kind of adds to the world building, to the fact where it's kind of a forgotten time in the past, because these guys were all Kung Fu masters back in their era, but with, I guess, the arrival of new technology, with, just, how do you say this? The evolution of the world, basically. They've had to just retreat, and what they do is they just live in like poor parts of the country. They don't even live in towns or anything like that, and it's just really something that you can explore. Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like X-Men '97's on right now. Mm-hmm. It's kind of the similar story where they have the human shell, but they have these extraordinary powers, similar to this, where they look like normal human beings, but they have these extraordinary powers. So like kind of a reference to the X-Men. It's kind of ironic.
Well, that was always a standard for a lot of the older like 70s and even some of like the even earlier ones of the Kung Fu movies, like the 5 Deadly Venoms was very much like that, where all of them had like specific kind of, not necessarily powers, but like abilities within their normal shell. And so that was kind of a trope that was just here. It's just on steroids. They just go a little further with it. It's like,
yeah. And of course, the people that were about to be lit on fire asked, they just thanked them by giving them, I think, a bowl of just delicacies or something. I think it's cakes or something. And
I don't know, like those like donut holes. I don't know.
Yeah, something
potatoes.
like that. Really, potatoes?
Yeah, I think they mentioned potatoes or something.
Oh wow!
I didn't know
There's a lot of scenes where the dialogue goes very quickly, so it's hard to catch small details like that.
Well, they're so poor that they only can grow potatoes, and they like if you watch a lot of anime, they even talk about potato cakes or potato balls, whatever.
Well, they a lot of times it's rice balls and
rice
anime.
balls, yeah,
anime,
but
that's true.
Then they call it, and in the United States for some reason, whenever they do like the translation, they call them donuts. I've never seen a donut that looks like that in my life. Just call it a rice ball.
Listen, we don't actually think that jelly donuts. They messed up that dub.
So everyone is ganging up on the landlady because the landlady is telling the kung fu masters to leave since they brought a lot of trouble to Pig Sty. And this is the first instance where we sort of hear the lion's roar, which is her superpower. And everyone just shuts up because and she even says, "You guys really think you can out yell me?" It's like, no.
That's the point right now. It's like right now you think it's just parody. Like you don't think it's actually like she has any powers. It's just for the comedic effect.
Yep. Dragon smoking lady was hilarious and deadly. Hell yeah, she is. So the thing is that what they do is they're trying to get those guys to leave. And while
this part, I love this part.
Man, this part was hilarious. But also painful to watch.
It's so stupid because he throws the first one and it just ricochets off the top of the wall and hits him in the shoulder. It's the speed at which he just sits down and is like, "Oh, okay."
And then he's gonna pick up the snakes. He's gonna throw the snakes.
He picks up the snakes and throws them. He gets bit.
Well, like too, the handle leaves. He goes, "Look, there's no handle here." So it still hurts just as much.
Honestly, the rest of the scene just was chalked up to his friend Bone being dangerously stupid. I mean, the guy throws the knife and then it hits his friend. Then he reels all the way back, stabbing his friend again. Then he goes and he's like, "Oh, well, we should check for fingerprints. Where did this come from?" He pulls it out. Then he puts it right back in him. And then he's like, when the landlady notices, he picks up the snake. He's like, "Don't make a move," but the snake cage is open. So he drops all the snakes on his friend. And then he's telling him, "Oh, well, if you whistle, they will freeze." And then he whistles, so they bite his lips. It's all Bone's fault.
This is such a throwback to the early Jackie Chan and Sammo Hung back in the day. It's great. I love it.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Yeah, and it's like the dude gets stabbed. It's his It's Stephen Chow's reactions to getting stabbed each time. And like Bone takes the thing out, and then he's like, "Ow, don't do that." And then he's like, "Sorry," just stabs him back. It's like, okay.
She gets whacked in the face with a handle. She's like, "What else throwing handles around?"
It like sticks to her face too.
I know, it's great.
And then, of course, we get one of the dumbest, funniest, weirdest chase scenes known to man.
I love this so much.
Oh my god, I love this. The fucking Roadrunner.
It's fantastic, man. And
the faces, the mannerisms, the expressions.
The expression was great. Like he just goes slightly faster, and she's like, "Oh, how could he?"
Yeah. At this point, if you're taking this movie seriously, just stop.
Yeah.
I mean, they make sure that you can't possibly take it seriously at any point.
That's the best part. Imagine she whacks against the side.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I want to know how her bra came off. That's what I want to know. Like of all of them, like the shoe was a sandal. I get that. The hair rollers. Yeah. The bra is the one that really throws me off. Like how'd that even? First of all, how did it come undone? Second of all, how did it get out of her shirt?
Like how fast is she running?
The fact 11, I will it.
The fact all three knives are still sticking inside of him while he's still running.
Yeah.
And he looks at it. It's a rear view mirror.
It's so poses great. Too. I was like, yeah.
It reminds me of like a video game where you have to do like something like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Where like you have to hold the pose for the maximum number of points. That's basically what they're doing.
Yeah, a combination of Sonic the Hedgehog with
Yeah.
Tony Hawk.
Even too, as he's on the ground, you see his legs. His legs are going like vertical, like this, like still running underneath the truck.
Exactly like a cartoon, dude. Yeah.
And so how most people they run like this. They're run like this, like that the entire time.
Yeah, Roadrunner. It's exactly that. It's like
Yeah.
that's how it is. And man, it just goes so well. And even though with the tone of the film, it works. That's the most important thing. Is that it works. You know?
Yeah. Rachel
Rousseau.
Rousseau.
It's a friend. Oh my god, dude.
That's one of my pals there.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. It's like even if it did, even if the clasps did break, it wouldn't fly backwards. If anything, it would fly forward. It's like it would undo and go that way.
And of course we're back to Singh, and Singh has fish lips, and he's in the street lamp thing that Gooch was talking about earlier, and he's basically just channeling all of his chi to cure himself, and this is what he does. It's really
all
really
the palm strikes.
Yeah, exactly.
Strikes.
It's kind
of
of
those
funny.
Gooch palm strikes right there.
It's like the middle of the daytime too, and there's a whole bunch of people running around. You just notice, look up. There's a whole bunch of magical palms coming out of like the middle of a street lamp, and no one notices this shit.
Yeah, I know.
That's true.
Well, that's part of the absurdity. Is everyone
to focus on that?
Yeah, it's true.
Part of the absurdity is that this is just normal to them. Like, even the most weird thing happens, and they're just like, "Yep, that's what happens around here."
It was just a
and then it leads into Bone asking like, "Oh, you heal really fast. Like, how did you right here? Yeah, like, how did you heal so fast? What hospital did you go to?"
I didn't go to the hospital. It was like, oh, that's good. That's good. It does become relevant later because when he's doing this, initially you don't really think that they're the palm strikes. You don't really pay attention to that because it moves very quickly, and that's why I appreciate the fact that they come back and emphasize on it just before the final fight, which is something that I would critique, let's say, a Western film for doing, because a lot of Western films, instead of just leaving it up to the audience, they'll show you something. You already understand what it's trying to show you, and then just before the third act or something, they'll do a flashback for no reason just to show you again. But here, it actually has a purpose, So something that I do appreciate in the script and the filmmaking. And there's a lot of setup in this movie. Really, we've mentioned some of it already, but there is a lot of setup.
I don't know on the sport if you captured after this. We're here. You see two guys walking, two mysterious guys. Oh, sorry, there you go, buddy.
Oh, there they are, dude.
Hell yeah! The build up. Nice screenshot.
They call them? The harpists. That's what they call them. I couldn't even find.
I call them the street performers in my notes.
Oh, the street dudes. Yeah,
that is a good bromance. I've never walked with any of my friends, but like two of us are sharing a backpack.
Yeah, that's how you know they're tight.
So it reminds me of, I don't remember the characters' names, but from Trigun, the chick who has like the oversized gun that looks like a crucifix. I can't remember her name.
I'll look it up right now.
Yeah, dude. Trigun. If anyone hasn't watched Trigun, watch it, dude.
Trigun was like one of the original, like there was like a holy trinity. It was like Trigun, Gungrave, and Hellsing.
She owns every DVD in Trigun. She's obsessed with that show.
Trigun and Hellsing were the two I like. I wasn't a huge fan of Gungrave, but
Hellsing is great. I just looked up Rabbit Tooth, and she's hot in real life.
Dude, you saw that? Dude, she looks great. The prosthetics that they made her ugly with the prosthetics.
And I'm like, holy Dinah.
She looks really good. really, really, really good. And I'll share my screen at the end. Just remind me so that we show it to the
Dark
chat.
Hour. It's Millie Thompson. She's a character with the big gun.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I watched it so long ago I don't remember any names or anything. So
yeah, so we do get this this introduction to our main harpist men, and of course what they do is that they meet with the Axe Gang, of course, and they're so fucking cool. Like so damn cool. What a great let's say villain duo, which is only used in one scene, and it's crazy. Like wow, just the amount of restraint that you have as a creative to have this, and only use them in one great fight. And so in this scene where they're meeting with the Axe Gang is basically hiring them to kill the landlady and the landlord. No, not the landlady and landlord. The three
No, they
kung
want
fu
them to kill
masters.
those three masters. Those
Yeah,
three
the
masters.
three masters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they go, yeah.
And,
First they go after the tailor.
No. They go after Cooley first, and
That's
then
yeah.
the tailor.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
I do like
And
the
so,
landlady. She got a big thing across her nose too. Her nose is all fucked up from hitting the sign.
Yeah.
and
I
so
love that
so
little
like
detail.
in this scene we do get a lot of info. So for example, we do learn that they're considered the number 2 killers in the world, and we get a reference that the number 1 killer is called the Beast, and he's currently in a mental asylum, which becomes relevant later. And we finally get the names of the well, not the names, but the techniques of the 3 kung fu masters that we saw at the beginning. So there's the 12 kicks of the Tam school, the Iron Fist, who is the tailor from Hung school, and the hexagon staff, which is of course Donut. And yeah, so that's what we get from this scene. And of course, we switch back to Pig Sty, where our 3 kung fu masters are having a little light sparring session, which, man, it's just well, you know what? I have the clip of it. I fucking love the sparring session. Let me just play the clip first.
It's
a lot of ballet in there.
I'm sure everybody panel knows too. The assassin guys, they have extremely long nails too.
Yes, is to play to play the well, what is the instrument actually? Does anyone have that's it?
The harpist. Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, the harpist, but like, is it like because harp would be like,
it's just the way it's just a different way of the harp, I would assume.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's called a pedal harp. It looks like.
Oh, okay. Because I figured it wasn't a regular harp.
Yeah, it's
that's what I was thinking too.
It's still a harp. It's just that it's played slightly different.
Oh, okay.
And this part right here, like it's like the sun in the background, like setting.
Thanks, Goose.
Yeah, it's so beautifully done here. And then the comedy right after is brilliant. Like I love this scene so much. It's just it's excellent. I love it.
Yeah, it's the way these guys blend. They actually blend very good martial arts.
Yeah.
But then obviously they start adding the over the top anime martial arts. But there is some great actually choreography in this film.
Oh yeah,
for sure. Beautiful. And one thing that I do like is that the film really emphasizes on the fact that the kung fu masters, even if they are villainous or something, the kung fu masters always have mutual respect within each other. And it's a great juxtaposition where you see, for example, between the gangs themselves, there is no respect. As we saw in the beginning, the Axe gang just kills the Crocodile gang member regardless, doesn't even like say hi to him, doesn't even speak to him, he just kills him. And every single time you see the kung fu masters, they always have a moment of respect.
Yeah.
It's just great,
As Goose said, this scene follows up with the landlady beating the shit out of her husband.
Yes.
But one thing that's underrated with this movie is the lighting and the costumes, like the clothing and everything that's done in this. I love it. I love the top hats that the Axe Gang have. Everything down to like the way they're dressed here. Even the landlady, like it's so brilliant. Like it's the lighting's like I would say so underrated, because like when it comes to the night scene as we get to it, it's perfect because it comes from the one angle, always from it seems from the west, obviously.
Oh yeah, I totally agree, man. It's I think it just goes into the set design and like the production design in general, which is top tier for this film. And I think it comes from the fact that they're really, as we said before, Jay, the emulating the 50s and 60s era where you had to build, like, even though it's not a fully practical set, the building the wall set, like trying to do that and having all your lighting be artificial where you can control it really well. It's like, it emulates that so well, and it works in the film's favor.
I just I'm listening to this, man. The music right here is excellent. I'm listening.
Honestly, I love the entire soundtrack. I really once good. I found it on YouTube, I just bought to certain different songs, especially that one in the beginning where they first started beating up the Axe Gang. I just love the entire soundtrack. And you're right. Like also like the the cinematography, just like the lighting and everything, is just perfect. Like it looks like a painting in certain scenes, and it's just beautiful. It's just gorgeous to look at.
Dark, are you saying something? Sorry,
I was gonna say I think Richard had something to say, and he kind of
I mean, I only saw this Tuesday, like I was saying. I still thought that you had an ensemble cast at the minute. It didn't really jump out who was going to be the protagonist. I mean, in the next 10 minutes, it becomes a lot more clear. You know that the main guy is prominent, but you've got the two landlords and you've got the three kung fu masters, and it's very ensemble, and I thought that was quite interesting. And you were saying something earlier. I've been trying to get him after I got off and go around a couple. You're explaining how when he was inside the metal case and he's got all his handprints through it, or he's beating it up and stuff. It's very much you explain. It's like comes across to me like you tell someone you're going to do something, you show them you doing it, and then you've told them you've done it. Was how it was looking for about 5 minutes ago in the stream. Yeah, this thing here.
Yeah, we can always rewind back to a picture. It's not like
it's on the picture's on at the minute. Very much you're saying how it comes to 3 stages now. A lot of films, like more Western films, I'll go back to it. And I've heard it described before as say you're going to do something, do it, and then tell someone you've done it. Which,
okay.
I often do that at work. I know, good boy.
Yeah, it's very weird because I think it just goes down to sort of the confidence that you have as a scriptwriter, as a filmmaker, the confidence that you have in your audience to understand what you're trying to show them. It's not treating your audience stupidly. If you are treating your audience stupidly, then your audience will automatically know. So that's the thing that I love about films like these. It's like the audience is not stupid, and you can reserve a good moment for them and come back to that moment later and show them a different, let's say, a different view of that moment in light of what is going on now. It's great. It's great. It's good filmmaking and good script writing.
I like that a lot about this movie. Honestly, this is the kind of movie that really respects the audience's intelligence.
Yeah.
Because it expects you to basically pay attention the whole way through, because there's a lot of things that like you could easily miss. And you'll see like later on that you'll be like, oh, like where did that come from? But then it's like if you really pay attention, you know that like perfect example is the landlady. Like they show her like screaming and running and doing certain things later on. But in the beginning, it seems kind of mundane until the story progresses. Then you're like, okay, now I understand how she's able to do that and why it's doing that. Like it's actually kind of foreshadowing. I didn't even know it. Same thing goes for like the light scene. And when he was talking about his backstory, it's like it's foreshadowing a lot of stuff that happens later on in the film, but you could easily miss that or misinterpret that.
Yeah, it seems like we've had a trope with Hollywood the past 5 years a lot. Like, it's too much over explaining to the point where it's like, guys, you're spending like 35-minute scenes that should be 5 minutes. They're bloating times. Like, okay, we get it. You don't have to over explain every little detail of the plot. Move it along. Trust your audience.
Yes.
So I think Hollywood thinks that we're done, and they need to.
do. I'm convinced of that. Too.
Yeah.
That's a
they might be,
time.
but I don't
Well,
think they are. And
I think Hollywood doesn't care. I don't think they care about their audience anymore.
We've got eyes and ears, and we can pick up what's going on. We don't need to have it.
Exactly.
Well, it's the downfall of any empire. Hollywood was the empire of production for a long time, and eventually you get to a point where your arrogance exceeds your ability, and that's the collapse of any empire. You're just seeing it in a different way. It's not a governmental empire. It's a financial, and I'm not even sure what the word is, but it's like the film industry has been dominated by one sect for a long time, and other smaller ones are starting to come up.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, so they do this light sparring session, which is fantastic, of course. And now they have to go, and the harpists are here, ladies and gentlemen, and they're here for one very, very, very important reason. Yeah, Hollywood hates their audience. Yeah, they just don't care about their audience. That's the thing.
Well, to be honest, like look at this entire panel. We are not the target audience anymore.
That's true. Yep.
What are you talking about? Uninspired's half black. He's a target.
Yeah, but he's
it's true.
I'm quarter. I'm quarter black.
Yeah.
I'm Sicilian.
I'm
I'm Sicilian. I'm
half
quarter
in my
black.
human form.
Yeah. So it's for 3 people on the panel. That's what Hollywood is doing.
I would, man. You mentioned the Sicilian thing, and immediately my mind went to True Romance. That scene in True Romance.
Oh boy!
And I'm like, if we ever do that movie on this show, how far can we get into that scene before?
That was on my channel. Yeah, boy, that's a scene.
How far can we push it? Damn it!
And so yeah, so this is Cooley's death, and man. So what I was saying before was, man, Cooley gets killed in such an interesting way because you really start to see the power of the harpists, and the fact that the entire scene, once you see the harpists, right after the sparring session, is silent. The only score that you get is the score that's being played, the music that's being played by these villains, which is fantastic, and it just emphasizes the how can I say this? It emphasizes the seriousness of the scene, where
intensity, intensity of it all. Like, you're lured in, and you're just like, where's this going? Is Cooley gonna get killed? And then because he's a master, you're thinking he's gonna, avoid this somehow, but he gets killed off in a very graphic way. And you're like, holy shit, they're killing one of the protagonists here. And it's just like, okay, where's this going?
I'm just gonna join Mr. E real quick here. I'm just gonna make myself extremely white. Here we go. This is what happens when the lights are actually on. I'm not trying that hard.
That's what happens when you have Grand Dragon and Chris on the stream.
Imagine if I didn't have everything set to warm light settings in the room.
If you do that again, and I look out my window, I'll probably see the shine from over here.
Yeah, probably. It's very.
But that was dark on his part. Like, they actually cut his head off, dude. Like, they weren't playing. That's just pure decapitation. Like, oh shit.
Yeah, and even look, my brethren right there being sliced in half. His shadow got cut. My fellow cat, and it's a great way to show the way that the way like the powers are, and of course it's a great way to, as Jay said, the intensity is just there 100%. And so what I was thinking was the restraint in terms of a filmmaker. So for example, you're writing a script, you have these crazy awesome characters that are unique in their own way, and you decide to kill them off halfway through the movie after they've only had one fight scene. That's like really ballsy. Something that you probably won't see today. Well, yeah, it's like they probably milked this for all they had, especially considering that it's great choreography that's put into everyone, especially Donut with the bamboo stuff. So to me, it's just the level of restraint shown is incredible. And it just shows how much they cared about making you feel about these characters and the script and the story in general. It's just like, yep, it's there. And,
it's funny. That's a good point, because honestly, like, these characters are not really around that long in the span of the entire movie. Yet, like, I was really invested in their story. Throughout that whole, section of the movie, like, and, and I did feel bad, when they kicked the bucket.
Yeah, exactly. You really actually feel you feel for these people when they start dying off, and the fact that the movie just manages to do that so well is fantastic. And so now, after Cooley's death, of course, the one of the harpists visits the tailor, and this to me is my personal favorite fight scene of the entire film. I think it's incredible.
Yeah, on this part, I'm listening to it right now. This is scary because there is zero music. It's pure, it's pure sound effect. It's ringing of, man. I'm listening to it right now. I'm like, oh, shit.
Dude, let me play the clip for you, ladies and gentlemen. So let's do it. So
it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's fantastic, dude.
Yeah.
The tailor versus the harpists. Take one.
I
fucking
love.
fantastic.
I was
would say.
hoping you were gonna. I was hoping you'd show him when he walks beside his brother there.
Oh yeah,
that is beautiful. Like you just talk
chef's
about
kiss.
like the proper perfect villain. Like showing how evil they are, and he just like casually walks beside his brother. Like okay, that's nice. Like now go through this.
The whole absence of music just makes it that much more impactful.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
You hear like all of the cracks and the scratches and everything. And I just like, let me just say, I just love that scene where like the tailor just slams the table and then boom, all the rings just get on the arms and shit. I was like, damn, Shang-Chi couldn't do this shit. Like I ain't never seen them look so badass with rings like that on the arms.
Yeah.
We have a super chat that's relevant to what we're talking about right now from Norman Barud for $4.99 American.
Thank you, man.
Which is not real money, according to.
Yeah, listen, Norman, it's real money because you sent it in, dude. So to me, it's real money.
Well, when we're streaming on my channel, that's the real money. When we're not streaming on my when we're streaming on Uninspired's channel, it's fake money. So it's monopoly money. Wow, imagine being sad characters die because they're actually good. Plus, Shang-Chi has nothing on the real ring fight. Simply epic. Yep. I do like the fact that I'm not even sure. It's hard to tell in the context of the film if early on he just kind of decided last second those were going to be weapons that he was going to use.
No. They show him glancing at the first ever time you see him. They show him glancing at the rings. So it's kind of just there, like
there's an implication that maybe that those are set up there specific, or if he kind of was like, I could use those. It was a little bit of both. It could have been either or. So either way, it becomes his standard weapon for later in the film. I actually like to think of it as it was an impromptu thing that he realized worked really well, so he kept it going. That's the way I like to interpret it.
Oh, I see what you mean.
It was very believable in the first fight when he's fighting the Axe Gang, how easy he was finding it. And how the three of them, they were very competent and it was easy, but the threat level has been dialed up and it's not like they struggled. It's just gone straight up to
Yes, I'm here. I'm one of the hosts. I'm one of the hosts of the show.
Yeah,
so
Richard.
I have arrived.
Richard, I agree with you. The level here has gone to like kill or be killed instead of just we're wiping the floor with these people.
Yeah.
So it's very, very good. And that's why I think the lack of music is really what emphasizes that. Yeah, armoring fighting.
It is weird that I do feel like they did steal that from this, because the 10 rings in the comics are literal rings on the hands. Then they do different powers. It's like a sorcery thing. And then when they did it in Shang-Chi, which I've only watched once ever, it was exactly like this. It was the rings on the arms, which I feel like they must have saw this and were like, that's a good idea.
Yeah, of course they did.
Yeah.
They have no creativity at all. They don't follow anything from the comics because they don't read them or use them, and why would you? Because it's this hunt like so many years of reference right there, or decades, and then secondly, like they have idiots like thinking they could do better. So
well, it's like Uninspired said, at this point, so far the fight scenes in this movie have been pretty over the top comedic, but never dark. Even like when they're killing people is kind of comedic. This is a whole different tone for the film.
Yeah.
Oh shit. These guys are here to kill you. There's no joking around. There's no juxtaposition. They're here to flat out murder you. And
but that's what I mean with the lighting. Like they bring in the dark cloud for the gang to come in, and that kind of lighting and that kind of tone. This one, it's dark and the lighting's like it's like the setting of the moon's rising, the sun's setting. You get like this, like it just sets it right up. Like, and you get the emotional vibe from this scene. Like it's dark, it's gritty. Like we already lost the protagonist. What the hell else is going to happen? We already see the tailor, fighting for his life. Like it's beautifully done. Like it's really, really well set up. Like there's no music, only from the harp. Like it's excellent.
And once again, the sound effects. This is where the sound effects completely shine, because you can hear the tiger roar, lion roar that when he's scratching the tailor. It's just fantastic. And I'm actually surprised that the harpists haven't been used in other media, because they're just so cool. Or
I was going to say first of all, I want to address Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Ringworms. I've had ringworms. It's hard to get rid of, but hey, if you ever get ringworm, don't waste money on prescription. Just use athlete's foot cream. It's the same medicine. Just use that. So,
well, that's got to be the jujitsu, right? Rolling on the mats.
Ringworm, staph infections. It just happens. It just happens. Your skin, well, your skin gets busted open. You get like various things in there. It just happens. If you, it's not very common for me. I've had it a couple of times in my life. There's people who get it all the time, and I'm like, stay away from me. But
well, that and herpes. So
yeah, we actually threw a guy. There was a guy who had it like on his neck, and he was like, "Hey, I think I have ringworm." I was like, "Get the fuck out, then! If you think you have it, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
The other thing I was gonna say was the thing that this actually I thought of almost immediately when rewatching this, now with hindsight of having seen it, the scene from Scott Pilgrim where they're having the band fight and the two twin brothers on the that are doing like the DJ stuff is very similar to this, and obviously a different style, but it's very.
Dude, and just to bounce back on what you just said, think about even more recent. What movie had a music fight? No.
That's a good ass point. You know what's funny?
Are you talking which movie? The Marvels?
It's a Marvel movie.
I was just about to say.
Wow.
Why would you bring that up? Why would you say that name?
Point.
I was trying to forget that film, you dick.
Yeah. Like,
here we are having a good time talking about a good movie. We're here with the gooch. You got to bring up that kind of shit.
Well, we were talking about ringworm, so Marvels does fit. So I mean,
so the movie is so none of you have guessed it. It's not the Marvels. It is recent though. It came out maximum 2022. Yeah, Marvel movie came out 2022. There's a music fight, a fight with music. Nobody?
What? I don't.
Doctor Strange 2? No.
Oh,
you picked a movie from Phase 4.
I forgot that film. Trust me.
You picked a movie from Phase.
I've mentally blocked that movie from my memories.
Dude, there's the music fight that they try and do in Doctor Strange 2, which like when I was thinking about this, I was thinking, wow, look at how lackluster something recent tried to do that, and look at how incredible this is. And Stephen Ransom, yes, the Hung Gar is the technique that the tailor uses. If you look it up,
that's cool.
So yeah, it is great. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, the tailor versus the harpist, take 2. So let me play the clip.
oh,
Doc, you're pretty flexible. Have you ever like?
I'm actually not that flexible.
How many times have you said, dude? He sits on one leg. Like,
I can sit on one leg. I could do that. That's just a squat. It's just a one-legged squat, really.
My dad's a master chef. So like on the weekends we'd go to the restaurant, and my dad had this Japanese guy. His name was King. He was a sous chef with my dad. He would prep on one leg, squatting on one leg for hours, and then he would switch to the other leg and squat for hours by prepping food and stuff like that.
Wow,
it was incredible. But getting back to what Stephen says, like the Hung Gar, to beat Hung Gar, there's a style. It's called Hung Gooch, and it's by far the best.
That's what everybody calls him. He's the Hung Gooch.
Hung Gooch. Yeah.
I mean, you heard about the keg. So
it's very lethal. Very lethal.
Hung Gooch from the Gooch School.
That would actually not require a lot of flexibility to do that, like one-legged squat. That's more just leg strength. You need to have like a little bit of flexibility in your like Achilles to sit back like that, but it's more strength than actual flexibility in that instance. Now, putting your leg up on top of your leg, that would actually require some lateral
That's what I'm saying. That's impressive.
Yeah. It was all discipline. Like that's like we come from old school. I would say dark RNI. Like for like you don't talk back. You're just everything's militant, and you just did what you were told.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, just the fight scene here, the fact that as we said before, the music is only coming from the harpists, and they're playing good tunes too. Listen, they are actual musicians, ladies and gentlemen, so they're still playing good music while they're trying to kill people.
Yeah, they have a day job. They just moonlight as the second best murderers on the planet.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
like their beats are so fire, they're killing people with it. So,
basically, yeah.
Rather than not taking off the hat just to get some tips for anyone going past.
Yeah. Yeah, they should have the hat on the ground. That would actually oh man, you just added a great thing that
would have made this movie.
They would have had somebody walk by and throw some change in a hat.
That actually would have been a great idea. I actually would have had that now. It's like mid-fight, somebody comes in and just throws some coins in there.
Yeah, that would have actually been fantastic.
It's there for the sequel.
And plus, like, have it be a blind person come up to them so that they don't see that they're killing dudes, you know? So
no, it's even funnier if it's somebody who can see it, just doesn't care. It's like,
yeah, you know,
but
they just want to support the art.
Yeah,
basically,
they're really into the music. They don't really care about the death.
I never see anybody take one leg and just go like this with the second leg like that. That's hard.
Oh, I don't know if they have wires.
You notice in Bomb Metallica?
I'm not gonna. I don't have the room to do it here right now. I can do what he's doing. It's just I don't know how long I can sit like that. But it's not really that flexible. It's the flexibility is not really that. It's no different than really no different than just crossing your leg up onto your lap when you are sitting down. It's just now you're doing a one-legged squat while you do it.
Well, can you do tripod though? Can you do the tripod? That's the bigger question.
I don't know. I'm not sure if have you. I said aerodynamic. Damn it.
Yeah,
both legs in the air.
Hey man, how you doing? Ayo, this film rules. Yes, it fucking does. One of the best kung fu films ever. Yes, it is. Stephen Chow is a genius. Yes,
absolutely.
He fucking is. 100%. And so at this point, we do learn that these guys are here because they just want to see what's going on. And I love the fact that he's pushing his dude out of the way every single time. Like, get out of here, dude. You're blocking the view, which is understandable, man. It's not every day you get to see kung fu masters fight. So
anybody who's ever had to take like a turn on a major highway knows this exact frustration of I can't see. Get your head back.
Yeah. And of course, during these times, which I cut out, of course, for copyright and everything, but there's the landlady that's trying to, I guess, stop the fight. You know, she's just opening the window and saying, "Hey guys, people are trying to sleep," and of course they just shout back at her like, "Hey, go back inside. This is none of your business." And her husband basically just pulls her into the house, which at this point you just think that she's acting like the landlady, but no, she's actually trying to stop the fight because she knows that it's a life or death situation, and she doesn't want to fight.
It's kind of funny though, as she's yelling, the two assassin guys they just stop
every time.
It's like.
It's great every time.
Yeah.
And of course, let me see if it's the proper clip. So now it is the tailor and the harpist. No, the tailor and Donut versus the harpist. So take 3, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know why. It's so over the top. It's over the top yet poetic at the same time.
It's probably the most Wuxia that this movie gets. It's probably the most traditional like kung fu style that you get throughout the entire movie.
And of course, then she yells and shows now it's getting serious when she just did her scream.
And
Yeah.
is that the first time she's shown that at this point?
The first time
ability?
she's properly showed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's always been at this point for comedic purposes. No one ever took her seriously. Now it's
Yeah.
like, oh, now she's actually angry. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
that's her power, is that she has like
Yeah.
essentially endless lung capacity.
Yes, to the point where she can deform her body to scream. And plus,
Yeah.
like, keep in mind, she's not even at full power because she's been like cane
Yeah.
smoking for I don't know how many years too.
And of course, the
Yeah.
husband. How fast did he teleport behind these guys? What the hell? Would you come
So
from
the thing
good?
that's weird about this guy is that he can fly like Superman and defy the laws of fucking gravity.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's so weird.
The way he moves around on Spartans like this when
Hey.
they're hitting him and shit.
He's like
Yeah.
Plastic Man.
It's
Yeah, very plastic. Smilex, Daft Punk got taken out by a random special forces unit in their original music video. So I'm not sure that they could take them, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It's awesome how he transfers their energy to each other. Every
Yes.
single movement. It's so epic. Like,
Flows,
whoa.
you know.
Plastic Man is definitely a great that's a good way to put it. He has a very
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Mr. Fantastic for those who aren't as up on Plastic Man.
Plastic Man is better.
Plastic
It's,
Man is actually more powerful than Mr. Fantastic. He can
Yeah.
like stretch
Yeah.
infinitely. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and so like what they're doing is like their punches aren't really, they are connecting, but they're just sliding off him, and it's great. And so they're basically taking themselves out, which is fantastic. And at this point, the landlady has taken in Donut and the tailor because they're completely like they're fatally wounded at this point. And so this is really the point where you see her get serious. And the fact that you see her visually like not smiling or anything, just smoking, is like it's really an emphasis on this is like
I mean, she doesn't smile like through the entire movie. For the
but I mean,
part,
like her face now is different compared to what we've seen her like.
it's the angle of the camera and like the darkness of the scene. It's all working together.
But yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's
so
the,
far, but she's been very comedic. It's like her mannerisms, the way she's over the top and yelling. Now it's like, okay, shit's got real.
Yeah, dude, it's the Bad Boys 2 moment, dude. It's like shit just got real. It's like, yes, sir. And of course, you think that the harpists were powerful, and as I keep saying this in live stream, it's the power scaling. The way that you do it is you have to show the audience someone powerful, then you show them someone more powerful, so that when you bring someone else that's like incredibly powerful into the fold, your brain automatically, you don't even have to explain to the audience, like through dialogue or something, but your brain automatically knows that these dudes are just super OP. For example, the landlord, the way he literally just wipes the floor with the harpists just shows how powerful this dude is in comparison to what you saw before, and in comparison to the 3 kung fu masters that were there as well, And then, of course, finally get the a small version of the lion's roar.
Here we go.
Lung capacity, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, yeah, and she's smoking a cigarette, like she's doing it, like.
It's like
so I think uninspired. I think what you're trying to say is that the Disney method, the Disney method of telling everybody you're so powerful, you're so smart, you're so great, isn't the best way to. Because I'm starting to think that maybe you might be a little biased towards them.
You forgot stunning and brave.
Stunning and brave. Always stunning and brave.
Always got to be stunning and brave. And I mean, yeah, she fucking blocks the, I guess you could name this the 1,000 death attack or something like that. I don't know.
I do like that if you look closely, it's a yin yang that they formed on the ground.
Yes,
when he
on
was
the ground.
Yeah. A zombie army they're pulling out. What the hell?
Yeah, and the thing is that look at him at the back. He has full confidence in his wife. He's not even moving. Like he knows that this is like easy shit for them.
Plus he's happy.
Yeah, and even once
half asleep when he was fighting them, mate.
Well, you see the way she inhaled that cigarette, so damn. He's like, "Yep, I've been there."
Okay.
And imagine how powerful she could be.
Oh yeah.
Like Gooch said, dude, the way she the shot shows 2 of them guys, but then like this quick, like, how'd you get in the car that fast? Wait.
Yeah, it's like. Yeah, it's the dude. He's like, yeah, we have to go up. He's there, boom, and she's there, of course. I just love their faces. Like you've seen these dudes be so confident and powerful, and now they're scared shitless.
You idiot! People are trying to sleep. What is wrong with you?
Get out of here.
This is about as condensed of a version of what you were saying as possible. They set up a level of comparison through action and not commentary.
Exactly. Yep. Thank you, Mr. E.
Well, that's one of the tropes that you often see in anime and video game stuff is the trope of the dragon, which is always the second strongest villain that you face, is there specifically to explain to you exactly how powerful the main villain is, because that particular guy is afraid of the main villain.
Well, Marvel even used to do this. Look at Infinity War to show Thanos' level directly to the audience. Who is the first person you see this motherfucker fighting?
Yep,
the Hulk.
Within 20 seconds, whoops,
exactly.
The Hulk ass.
So instantly,
and Ebony Maw like stops. I forget his name all of a sudden. The big dude,
Thor, isn't it?
No. There's it's his crew. Ebony Maw is like the one that what is it? What did I say?
Squidward or something
Squidward.
Like that.
That's Ebony Maw. I don't remember most of their names. It's like Corvus.
It's Corvus Glaive, Ebony Maw. Yeah, I know the names because I used to play Marvel Future Fight on my phone a lot.
Yeah, they all have weird names. It's hard to remember them all, but that's like the confidence that even he has. Like, no, let him have his fun. It's probably the most famous like dragon character is Goro from Mortal Kombat.
Goro.
Goro, the forearm from.
Okay, yeah.
Like he's there specifically to set up the fact that Shang Tsung is that much more powerful, because if you're looking at that, he's like he listens to him clearly. So
until Johnny Cage knocks him out with one hit.
Well, to the nads,
So of course she basically just tells them to fuck off and never come back.
He doesn't say a fucking word neither. She looks at him like this, like,
yep.
I'm not gonna say a goddamn word. They're like, and you see him, he's just like,
God, like, look at them, look before and after, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the trauma on their faces.
It's, one of those where the violence is implied. They're not going to beat you with the power of friendship.
Yep.
The fact, he pulls his cigar. He's like
on fire.
This is my favorite scene in the whole movie. Like how he takes out his flask of, I'm assuming it's whiskey.
Yes, I think so too.
Pour out a fire with this shit right here. Come on, guys.
And he tries to put out a fire with whiskey.
And of course, so they go away, and what we get is the death scene of the three kung fu masters, and here, as I said before, the restraint that you have killing off these three dudes in the middle of the movie is just fantastic. And
he had a quote here. Sorry.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, the quote they use is, "With great power comes great responsibility."
Yep,
I noticed that,
and they snuck that in there. I'm like, oh, nicely done.
For the references, this is just a shout out to a channel that I watch a lot. So if you guys are fans of Hong Kong cinema, Chinese cinema in general, of from the olden days till now, especially covering martial arts stuff, there's this great channel that only covers that, and it's called Accented Cinema. So if you guys are really interested in that, like martial arts, especially Chinese films, you guys should really check out that channel. I think that they're great, and they have a good video on Kung Fu Hustle covering all the references in the movie, even the deep cuts that are just references to old 40s and 50s Hong Kong cinema. So yeah, do check that out if you guys are interested. And so of course, what we learn here in this scene is that the landlady and the landlord stopped doing kung fu because their son died in a kung fu battle, and essentially what they've become are myths. To the point where, I think I even started this quote by Stephen. It's like, the lion's roar, I thought it was a myth. That's what the harpists say. It's like, yep, that's how legendary that these two are. And they do get some flack, of course, from the other people there. It's like, you could have helped him, but on the one hand, you do understand their hesitation too, because at that point, it's your entire world that's just crumbling. Because if you attack, then people know where the lion's roar is, so people will try and come and challenge that. So word spreads fast, and it's kind of a liability at that point.
Yeah,
and I also like how they have to own up to their mistake, because like they could have helped much earlier, but they chose not to because they took a vow after what happened with their son. There's no scene where it's like one of the members of the village step out and say, "They'll never understand what you sacrificed for."
Yeah, they'll never know what you sacrifice. Like, yeah, I sacrificed my fake fucking children, ladies and gentlemen.
Torturing all those innocent women and children, you know.
Yep. It's just there, man, and we accept it because you can understand considering the way that we've seen these guys until this point in the movie. So yeah, it just works in the film's favor.
Yeah.
Then of course we switch back to the comedic shenanigans of Sing and Bone.
I love this.
Seriously, I just want to start randomly throwing in terrible Marvel lines into like these.
Oh, dude.
I love how you talked about those golden rimmed glasses. They got to be worth something. And he's just like slamming heads. Every guy was he an accountant or
he's a clerk?
Yeah, it's just like they all have them, you idiot. Like,
and, go ahead, Jalen.
Intentional, but like Bone just like he tried to quote unquote help him by barking at him.
Yeah.
Speed up too.
Hey, you've got to be more ferocious. It's like that's not ferocious. Boom, you just get their ass beat by a random dude. And of course, they get pissed off at the fact that they're getting their asses beat by random people, and so they decide to go rob the lollipop lady who's coincidentally over there. So
again.
Yep. Again. Yeah, again. And man, I really just like the shot in front of the Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers poster, man. It's great.
It's a great like juxtaposition of them in the exact same positions, but in very different contexts.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also shows like Stephen Chow's love for Western cinema, especially from the 50s and 60s, as I said before, for the set designs. You're referencing musicals where all of this was really prevalent, especially Singing in the Rain, which is my favorite musical. All of the sets are there, and I mean it works in context of the film as well. So just it works, just really works.
The movie does references very well because when I was watching the movie, one of my friends there was certain references she didn't like get, but there was no issue with watching them in the context of the film because they still make sense in the context of the film. It's not like in Shark Tale where Oscar just spouts out random references that I guess you're supposed to get.
Yeah, it's kind of like Genie and Aladdin. Genie is kind of the same thing. He just transforms into random people. Genie himself is a walking reference to everyone.
Yeah, he's another one. Like I love the Genie in that film, but sometimes like some of the references just like
martial arts member berries. Yeah, and even Deadpool. Even Deadpool is something that will probably be outdated in the next 10 years, not even 10 years.
Yeah, when you make contemporary references, it has a very short shelf life unless that particular thing ends up transcending the era. So like for instance, I made a joke on Twitter or like yesterday or earlier today where it was like, name 3 things from your past, from like your childhood that you remember. And I said one of the first one was Lewinsky. And I was like, that joke has transcended because everyone remembers the Monica Lewinsky scandal. Everyone remembers. The second one was OJ. Everybody remembers. So it's like, unless it's a reference to something that transcends that era completely, you're essentially working with something that has a very short shelf life.
Yeah. Wait a second. What happened to OJ?
I've used that quote plenty of times in my videos where it's like when Deadpool opens the door to Negasonic, he's like, "Hey, Ripley from Alien 3," and she's like, "Fuck, you're old." But how many kids in 2024 remember Alien 3?
That's true. Yeah. Even people today don't remember Alien 3. People have just written it out of their minds.
Because all of us remember like how the biggest controversy was Sigourney Weaver shaving her head. But like how many people don't remember that shit in 2024?
Yeah, people don't remember the controversy. People just remember the fact that she had her shaved head in Alien 3. That was it. And,
underrated film.
Sorry. Yeah, it wasn't it the what's his name's David Fincher's, right? It was his first movie. Alien 3.
Yeah, well, the problem with Alien 3 was they definitely put out the wrong version in theaters. When you watch the director's cut, a lot of times director's cuts are just slightly better than the theatrical cuts. It's like, it adds context to stuff.
Except for Zack Snyder's director's cuts.
Well,
man.
those are the phenomenal. Actual movie. That's it's but Alien 3 fundamentally changes a lot of the movie at its core. It's very comparable to Blade Runner,
Kingdom of Heaven,
or Kingdom of Heaven, where it completely changes what the movie is simply with just a couple of scenes flip flopped, and Alien. If we ever do Alien, we have Alien later this year and Aliens. If we ever do Alien 3, that will definitely be part of the conversation.
It's not Alien 3, it's Alien Cubed.
Yeah, Alien Cubed. That would definitely be part of the conversation. The theatrical versus the director's cut.
Yeah, and so at this point in the movie, she shows him the lollipop, which of course reminds him of his childhood, and he finally realizes that it's her, which I think kind of sends him spiraling down, because one thing is that they did show and emphasize that when he was a kid learning the Buddhist palm technique was the fact that he was supposed to fight evil and save the world, but now he's just trying to be evil because he saw that being a nice guy really doesn't pay off, because he got pissed on the last time he tried to be a nice guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say it didn't help that in that same day that he tried to help her, like it probably also reminded him of the day he got beat up by all those guys and pissed on them. So you know, maybe I'd spiral too.
Yeah, it's his villain arc.
I took this moment as he got in touch with his chi. This enhanced his because he didn't know how to regulate his emotions before, and this is like the part that indicates why he couldn't regulate his emotions. And then when he sees her again, he's starting to piece it together a little bit. I think it was the first stages of him controlling his emotions better in a way, because then like when we fast forward, you see him do something different than what he would normally do. That was my take on it anyway.
No, I think your take is very, very valid, because at the end of the movie, when he needs to channel his chi, the thing that he draws on the floor in his blood is the lollipop. No, I think you make a really, really good point over there. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way, but yeah, really, really good point.
That way either, but that's a pretty valid point, because I mean, I just took it because of the horrific traumatic event, but he does get a bit more serious after this moment, and he seems to take events in the movie for the most part a lot more seriously after this.
Yeah, because after this is when he decides to split up with Bone, because he's kind of at this point he's kind of frazzled, so he just Bone, go away. And
he doesn't want him, because I think he knows what's coming ahead, and he's trying to protect Bone, and he's pushing him away. Like, no, like this is like that's why I'm saying like this is like sets off the chi for him. Like he starts to get in control of his emotions, and he realizes like. If I keep this individual with me, he could get seriously hurt. I don't want to see anyone die on my behalf, even though he's told to go out and kill to become part of the Axe Gang. He doesn't want to do that.
Yeah.
This line from Mr. E is pretty good. Being selfless is often thankless, and by its definition, if you're
tell me about it.
Well,
dude, you should trademark that sentence, dude. Trademark that line, dude.
Yeah. By definition, if you're seeking even thanks, you're not being selfless. So
that is true. You're doing it with intent.
That's true. Yeah. You do make a point. Low-key think he's the landlord's son. They do try and they imply it with a throwaway line, but it's never really given to us directly.
I was wondering that too, because it just seemed really interesting that they meant to, because he was, well, we already know he was beat up by those guys. And after that, but we don't really know his background. We don't know anything about his parents or anything like that. And, he ran away. So we don't know if he also ran away from home or anything, And it's also interesting because at the end of the movie, they explicitly state, and I always felt it was odd. So I wonder if that's what they were implying, that they say that he would have been just around their son's age. You know what I mean? So it always made me wonder, is he related to them? Because he also, on top of that, he also has that innate, to within him. They're masters. Maybe he inherited some of that, cheap flow. I don't know.
Yeah, so, go ahead, Gooch.
I believe I've seen another version of this, because I know, and maybe it's in my own mind, but they embrace him and they come together as a family at the end. And I might be the dub version, some kind of because I was waiting for the end, because I know I've seen it where they're like, he's our son, and they piece it together and then they hold him and I'm like, okay, why am I not seeing this at the end of this? When I watched this morning, the sub version.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, I'm positive I've seen that scene. But
I don't know. Like, from my memory of the dub version is pretty hazy, but my memory of the sub version, like you saw it yourself today, like there's not that at the end. So I don't know, but it is very heavily implied.
I saw the dubbed version yesterday. If there was a scene like that, I didn't see it, so I don't. I'm not sure.
Maybe it's me. I thought there was a scene where they figure it out, and then they're like, "He's our son."
Richard, what were you saying?
Yeah, you about to say?
I think it makes good sense, you know, if he is their son.
It does.
Probably explains where he gets all of his abilities from, you know.
Exactly.
The innate
got to come from somewhere. Good genes, maybe.
Yeah. And so, Chris, you wanted to say something?
No, I'm just listening. I mean, I'm watching dub version now, but there's no. They never mentioned him being their son in the dub version.
Oh, all right.
Maybe it's an extended version or something I've seen, but
possibly. There you go. It's obviously the Mandela effect, Gooch. There you
go. This person is suspiciously named Eraserhead. Maybe they erased it from our
I swear.
I
remember that Sinbad movie. I swear.
Yeah, I was literally about to say, don't tell Gooch that what was it? Kazam doesn't exist or whatever. Shazam doesn't exist. You know, he knows for a fact it does. He saw it. He rented it.
Yes, it is.
And
he'll break out his credit card statement.
So at this point in the movie, so Singh actually got picked up by the X Gang, and so they brought him to the club where he met with Brother Sum, the X Gang leader, and Brother Sum told him that they have a job for him. If you want to be confused, what's the dub version with subs? Oh yeah, that's actually true.
There you go. Then you have no idea what's going on. You're like, which version am I watching?
And so what they're doing is they brought him to a mental asylum, ladies and gentlemen. A mental asylum. Maybe it's a reference to someone that they mentioned earlier called the Beast. And I just love it, the fact that once he sets one foot on the land of the mental asylum, there's a fucking huge thing in the clouds. Like, yep, all right, this place
it's like a horror movie now.
Yeah, like you think Newell from Ghostbusters is gonna show up.
I just want to go back to like when they bring him into the bar and they just point to him like, keep going forward, and he starts dancing a little bit, like the light in the mood, because you go like the transitions, like you got that moment where he's pushing Bone away. It's like a very solemn moment, and then it goes. Yeah, he's sitting there. He's like,
he's doing this.
Yeah, dancing in the middle of the floor by himself, looking around.
Dude,
and then he goes to the table, and they're like, "I got a job for you." And then
2024, Gooch, we're bringing it back.
Yeah, we're bringing
it the club like this. What's up, guys?
Dude, the vortex. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
just pure horror. And of course, they gave him the shittiest map possible to find his way around. It's like a Resident Evil. It's like, yeah, dude, just follow the doors, follow the arrows. Like, come on, man. And of course,
you are here.
Yeah, you are here. Yeah, and of course, it just transcends into a horror movie, and you even get the classic Shining reference. Just there, pure and simple. And
it's said my kid knows that. He's like, Dad, is this supposed to joke on The Shining? I'm like,
yeah. And of course he finally finds the Beast. And I don't know if you guys noticed this, but when they open the door to the Beast, you have frogs in the background, actually. CGI frogs.
Yes, I noticed that too.
I didn't notice it now.
Oh,
you see them hopping around.
They're really in the
awesome.
dark. Yeah,
it's a good, and he's taking a dump. That's the part I think is hilarious.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. They distract you with that. But that's actually good foreshadowing, though.
Well, he's reading the newspaper, though, to be fair.
Yeah. He's trying to get entertained, dude. At least he wasn't doing something else sitting on the toilet.
Hey, yeah.
That would have been a very different movie.
Yeah. And there he is, everyone. The Beast, the #1 killer in the world, basically.
Yo, he's my favorite character. Full stop. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic, and even just the way that he acts and everything. He's just there in his flip flops, and he's kind of acting as if the way anyone would act in flip flops. It's just you have the big toe out, and the rest of it is in the flop. It's like,
yeah, and I love that trope. And everyone knows, like Darkar would say this, like, you know, the whole like this pathetic old skinny old man, because you think like someone who's very deadly and a powerful warrior, you're thinking like The Rock or like Schwarzenegger. You see this old guy, like this guy's pathetic and a fucking loser. He can't do anything, and he's most deadliest person within like the next 200 miles.
Yeah.
The old man in a young man's game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that's a great phrase. Always fear the old man hanging with the young bucks. You know, if he made it that far, he's a tough motherfucker. You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he just directly shows their strength. I love it when he takes the gun. The first thing that he says, like, "Oh yeah, Western model. That's pretty cool." And he just boom shoots himself and catches the bullet.
Beforehand, he's getting hit, and he's laughing. He's coughing up blood, laughing at the guy. Like, dude, that's some scary shit. Like, hit me harder. Come on.
That was intense.
Yeah, and
He must
and
have
of course,
watched Rocky.
go ahead, Richard.
He must have watched quite a few Rocky films.
He's learned how to take a punch.
Yeah. So I block everything with my head. Great.
Yeah, and of course, this is where it's kind of weird because I didn't think that the movie would go directly into the main fight at the end. It's just like, yeah, these dudes are here, and they're here for a reason, of course. So the beast senses a very powerful aura, the same way that people do in a lot of anime. Actually,
you watch enough Dragon Ball Z. This is almost like Goku and Vegeta sensing like Cell's aura or friggin' Majin Buu's aura. Like he knows.
I was about to say, like the beast is a straight up Dragon Ball Z character.
Yeah,
like this guy senses aura. He's shattering buildings
in the next room by their aura. Like
that's
yeah.
He's just a straight up menace. He's a straight up Dragon Ball Z villain.
Yep.
Dude, it's great, and he just like instead of I don't know fucking walking, he just breaks down everything with one stamp of the foot.
Right. Oh man,
plus he's wearing flip flops. He cut a room in half while wearing clogs.
Yeah,
I know.
This part right here, I love. Like all three of them just sitting there in awe of each other, like of their powers and their abilities, and just having a conversation about, hey, we're gonna fight. We're gonna, it's gonna go to the death.
And there's something about it too, where it's like they tell him, it's like, are you on their side? He's like, I'm not on their side. I just want either comes down to I kill you or you kill me. I'm just in it for the fight.
Yeah,
it's weird. He's kind of like that whole like he's not good or evil. He just wants to fight. He doesn't give.
He's a force of nature. He's a force of nature.
100%.
It's what he said because once when they were interviewing him, the Axe Gang were interviewing him. They said, "Oh, how did you get locked up?" It's like, "Oh, I put myself in there because I couldn't find any worthy opponents."
He's on board.
That's where I was going. Yeah,
he did the One Punch Man. He's on board.
Yeah, exactly. He pulled a Saitama on us.
He literally said, "That's why I stay in my cell because there's like nobody else to fight. Like there's just like everybody, like you know what I mean? No challenge."
Yeah, and the fact that he sensed the aura directly, he was like, "Oh yeah, fuck yeah, this is my time." And
that's why he got hyped.
Yeah, and he arrives to these people, and yeah, the landlord's energy here was fucking mood. Yeah, it's interesting because they were like, as you said before, are you with them? No, I just want to fight you. And they're like, oh well, we want to fight the Axe Gang, but you're here, so should we do it? Yeah, we should do it, honey. No problem.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
It's fantastic.
I like how the Axemen are in the background because at this point, in terms of threat level, they are just scenery.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're not even in the same ballpark.
Yeah. I think it's like Gucci said before. This is the first time we actually hear it. Like he says their names because we all know her as a landlady and her husband. We hear what they're actually called. You know, it's like she's the whole like basically Helena Troy and
Paris.
Yep.
Yeah, Paris and Helena Troy, and they're considered the fated lovers. That's what they call them, which is really good. It's a cool name, dude.
And her power has always been a myth.
Yes, they've been so powerful, and they're like, can you imagine in a world of kung fu masters being so powerful that people don't even think that you're real? That's insane.
Yeah.
And to have the beast
try living as the Gooch.
We see too in the background. They brought a mysterious bell as a present. Like
there it is, the funeral bell. And of course, what they brought it for is just like symbolic because the funeral bell is for the Axe Gang. That's what they were initially there for. I love the fact that they're also just in the casino enjoying their fucking money that they've been collecting.
Come on, having some drinks, having fun.
Yeah, that's because they got to take it down. The Axe Gang doesn't mean they can't party a little further.
They might be heroes, but they're still some landlords.
So I actually didn't really remember. I know that we haven't got quite to it yet, but I didn't even remember that they use this as essentially like a megaphone. And like when she started like smacking it, which you're going to show in a little bit, I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Like, see, I couldn't tell if it was on purpose or not, though.
That's the thing. It's like when you're watching it at first, you're like, this is kind of weird. Then you see the megaphone aspect of it, and you're like, okay, I see what you're doing.
Because at this point, we don't know if these two know that the beast is there or not.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't know if they did that on purpose. Like, were they just planning to like use the horn on the I mean, I guess it would have cleared them out faster, but I don't know if like they intended to use it that way or.
So what they said was that they brought a funeral bell just as a symbolic way of saying that the Axe Gang is gonna die here tonight. Like the entire gang is done tonight, and so that's why we brought the funeral bell just to like scare the shit out of you because you already know how powerful we are. But coincidentally, it lines up with the fact that they need to use it versus the beast. So it's a good moment of coincidence. And so the fight starts, ladies and gentlemen. And how can you get more anime than this in live action?
Yo,
it's fantastic.
Oh man, you should go like just a little bit back when she first kicks and he blocks it. I love that.
Dude,
I love that.
No, yeah,
I actually wanted to.
Well, we can't go back. That's a still frame. We can't rewind it.
Damn.
Go back.
Damn it.
But it's so perfect how every hit they hit with him, they're doing 0 damage to this guy. Like, oh
absolutely
shit,
nothing.
Yeah,
and it's just like
she kicks him, he blocks it, and to the face right there does nothing. Like, oh shit.
Yeah, it is. Her body contortion from like the air is one of the most ridiculous things you'll ever see.
Yeah.
And of course, he's making light work of him. And ladies and gentlemen, it is the fated lovers versus the beast. Take 1, which I will play the clip of now.
Okay,
Absolute light work of them, man.
It's not even close. I love the effect of when he twists their wrists and you see the skin like almost like crumple
the
zones.
shockwave. Perfect cell right now. Exactly.
That's right. Before it, with the whole DBZ, it's like the way it's somewhat dated CGI, but he's punching. You see the way his fist movements like Goku and Vegeta fight all the time. You see like 1,000 fists. It's like, oh shit, man.
And it's interesting you see the moment where he's like basically going super fast and trying to go versus the landlord, and you can just hear bullet sounds as if like he's really just as fast as a bullet. And Dark Hour, in comparison to Neo versus Mr. Smith, at the end of the Matrix, the speed way, which one was your preference? Because you see when Neo is blocking.
So you're asking which one do I prefer, like visually?
Yeah, visually in terms of like speed versus someone who's faster. You see what I mean?
I don't really have a preference. I think that they fit very well within the context of their own films. This one fit well because it was obviously a more like the film up to this point has had a more comedic tone. So it being sillier looking works. If they would have done this version in Matrix, I don't think anybody would have
taken it seriously.
Yeah, in the Matrix, they definitely had it seem more like someone was hitting like pause or like a slow-mo on like a video game or like a movie or something, and they were still moving normal speed. So I think what Stephen Ransom actually
she got some blowing power.
The Matrix probably could have done more, which then they tried to do that more in Reloaded, and it was too much of it. So I think they had the right balance, actually.
I agree with you, Dark Hour. I think there was the original.
But for this context, I like what they did with this one. I know it's kind of a cop out. I like them both, but
No, I agree, man. And of course, at this point, they're completely getting wiped out by this dude, and it just shows you how powerful he is.
Oh yeah.
And the bell comes into play, which is very, very interesting. And just hit the way that the fucking rope goes away because of the shock. It's incredible. And I love the fact that they're actually getting beat properly. This is actual hand-to-hand combat. Yeah.
Good.
Man, it's just so good.
So one thing we never addressed is what they actually call her in the village. They keep calling her like the fat woman.
Yeah,
fat lady.
Landlady.
Yeah, she's not fat though. Like there's parts where like her shirt pops up, you see her stomach. She's not fat.
Keep in mind,
she dressed very frumpy.
Yeah, but 1940s. They're in the like rural poor area, so she's probably fat in comparison to them.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah.
Listen, Dark Tower. This is before the days of my 600-pound life.
Yeah. I mean, she's also supposed to be like older, so it makes sense that her physique is not like prime.
That's true. They could have called the farmer lady that gives the initial punch fat.
Yeah, the farmer lady was actually heavier set than her. That's why that threw me off that they called her that, because I was like, the first thing she's wearing is that like I don't even know what the hell you would call that shirt. It's like the nightgown kind of thing. And that's kind of puffier, but like when she starts wearing regular clothes later in the movie, she doesn't look that large.
Okay, but you're overlooking one small detail, Dark Hour. They all just don't like her.
That is true. Yeah, that is true.
It's also to make the joke that the fat lady can sing. That's what they do.
McDonald's had not infected the world yet. Fat equals privilege.
And she was just retaining water. That's all.
Yeah, retaining water. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But just to play this again. I love the fact that we've seen them do some outlandish stuff, and now it's just pure hand-to-hand combat. That's it. The way that we saw the first fight in the movie, and it's great.
I love that she has a plan, and she hasn't really said it. She hasn't said it clearly to her husband, and she's getting her ass handed to her, but she continues to press forward on the plan, knowing what she's going to do.
Yep.
And I love that because it threw me off. Like I said, I hadn't seen it in a long time, so I forgot about this scene. And every time she kept doing that, I was like, what the hell is she doing? She's getting kicked in the back. Like, what is she doing? And then when finally the top pops, I was like, oh, okay. I see. Yep. It was a long game that she was playing.
And there it is, baby. We're finally, I saved it. I didn't make us hear the lion's roar until this point because I wanted us to hear it in its all of its glory.
In its final form.
Exactly.
Final form.
So let me see the clip lineup. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the fat lady that can sing, and it's the lion's roar. What a dick move, man! I would have killed this motherfucker for real.
I couldn't say it out loud.
These are some of the worst submission holds I've ever seen. I had him very upset about this.
I mean, boy, we've watched different movies,
There's some terrible shit right here.
Yeah, those are horrible leg locks.
Yeah,
it's he's trying to do an arm bar. She's got I'm not really sure, like an
ankle lock,
an elbow hold. I don't know what's going on here.
It's a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah, but
this is called white belt on their first day. If it was an arm sculpture, for some reason there's a third person in the match. We can't figure out why.
Yeah, this is just Twister on hard mode.
the beast, he finally takes some damage. Like she can't hurt him. All right.
Yeah, he really takes some damage. I mean,
they did like the environmental kill, basically. That's what they were trying. Yeah. They used what was available to them.
Mm-hmm. Of course, the whole I yield, I submit. Like, oh man, you fell for that shit. Damn.
Man, that was really annoying because I would have thought you're a kung fu master, and you kind of felt it from the beginning that you wanted to face them, in a respectful way. Then just goes and does that. It's like, so you really are just a villain at this point.
Yeah, I hope on the has the next the still for this upcoming scene.
What is the still?
What the beast does to our main character? Holy shit!
If you go back one more still, I want to point out to Rachel that would actually not help them. She'd be farting on the guy that she's fighting with, not against.
Power him up.
Yeah, dude, power up.
Wait, now here's the thing. Does it work the other way? Does the dragons, or sorry, the lions roar or whatever the hell? Does it work the other way? Is it like the dragons fart?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, that would be epic.
Dude.
That would be horrifying.
Eat a ton of beans and then you'll get it ready to go.
Yeah.
What if you lit it?
Oh,
Oh god.
Yeah. And of course, at this point, since they're all tied up and not moving, what the brother Sum asks Sing to do is to just take I think it's a table stand or table leg, and to go and hit the landlady and the landlord. It's so that it's done. And what he does is he hits the brother Sum instead, because brother Sum is really annoying him, and he just doesn't want to do it because he's kind of scared. But he eventually knocks what's the beast, and yeah. I don't think it was a good idea to hit the beast.
He whacks him in the head, breaks off.
Yeah, he whacks the beast in the head, but of course, it manages to let the landlord and landlady go. But yeah, Stephen Chow, he's kind of in for a very rough time at this point, because
I love that shot.
The explosion at the back, right?
Yeah.
Tells you on the impact.
Still wearing flip-flops.
Still wearing flip-flops, yeah.
Right there. Jesus Christ.
Damn.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That
And
man
again-
is extra dead.
No, this is probably the best scene in the movie. He comes up, is like, tink.
I
You
love
walk it off, right?
Yeah, he can. He does.
Because he was like the beast, like, why'd you hit me in the head for? He's just like,
Mm-hmm. And of course, the Looney Tunes kills Brother Sum, because at this point, the Axe Gang is just irrelevant in terms of the power scaling. And yeah, Brother Sum is done. That's it.
yeah, Brother Sum was just annoying people in that whole scene. He annoyed the beast too, but he messed with the wrong one that time. So he got a backhand so hard it twisted his head up.
I love the face that the other dude is making, because it's. Can you imagine being behind someone and you're looking them in the eye at the same time? It's like,
Jesus. Yeah.
great technique. Hit a guy once and his head spins about 3 times. Oh,
Mhm.
shit.
And
Damn.
the
I'm surprised they
lollipop.
didn't just like rip off. Yeah. And of course, the fated lovers, they take this occasion to run away, and of course they take the corpse, well, the half alive corpse, I guess, of Sing with them. And what they try and do is they try and just nurse him to health out of respect, because it's because of him that they got out of that situation from the beast. And they ask him if he has any last requests, and he just draws the lollipop, which Gooch 100% just goes into what you said earlier about him finally discovering his chi flow. Yeah. Yeah, that was a good catch, man. I've seen Kung Fu Hustle a ton of times, and I didn't even think of it like that, So, which of course is just juxtaposed with her trying to put the lollipop back together, but failing, really, really failing. And this is the scene
yeah,
go ahead,
it's beautiful because it's like exactly like the back-to-back scenes of him.
Mhm.
He's fractured to the point where he's now going into like that cocoon state.
Mhm.
She's like looking at the lollipop as it's fractured and broken, and then we get to the end, which we'll see. But
Yeah.
it's a beautiful shot. It's like sets everything right up, and then right into this, it sets everything up beautifully.
Mhm.
Beautiful sequences.
Yeah, this is where it sets up the fact that he was actually using palm techniques that you can clearly see, like his fingers are moving in different forms as well. And there he is in his cocoon state. And they comment on the fact that he is healing really, really quickly.
Also,
And
like, how is he alive?
yeah,
He beat
his
his
neck
head
should
through
be
like,
completely gone, dude.
he beat his head 3 times to like 2 feet of concrete. Like,
But you
Mhm.
know what though, to go off of what like Gooch said, I think it's kind of technically he did die, but he's being like reborn,
Yeah. Well, she did say to Landley, she said that he broke every bone and tendon in his body. And I'm like, okay, listen, you broke the bones and the tendons? Holy shit. Jesus.
Yeah, that's a bad afternoon, dude.
Well, this leads to like him, the father, like because he has the ability not to really die because of his like his bone structure, like he's
Mhm.
class D, and
Yep.
then the mother, right? So like his mutant powers or his abilities are enhanced even more, right?
Yeah.
5 times more.
And like it plays into what the madman that gave him the Buddhist palm technique said before. He's like, you need, like, your body needs to literally like transform to fully unlock your chi flow, and then you will be invincible. And that's what they say. They say that the beast's beating is what unlocked his chi flow, because it basically like completely reformed his body, and so that was all that he needed. And of course, there it is, butterfly.
Hint.
Exactly.
Well, the beast's beating was like a reference back to when he was getting beaten as a child, and getting pissed on by those bullies. And then, obviously the relationship between him and the girl, which they did with the lollipop. So,
and now being able to finally have the power to fight back against those bullies eventually after all these years. Yeah, it's great. And of course, the symbolism, butterfly from a caterpillar out of the cocoon, ladies and gentlemen. And at this point, the beast has arrived with the entire Axe gang once again, who now work for him because they're probably scared shitless to say that they quit. So,
there's a shot here. There's a shot here that I really think they didn't have to add in, but it just brings out the antagonist really well here. He's picking his nose. Like it's just like, you don't even need to add that, but it just adds to his characteristic here. It's just like, wow, like who would even think of that, really? Like,
it's really like he's at that level where he knows that he's chasing after these guys, because at this point he doesn't know that Singh has become something else, something more powerful. God, basically, at this point. That's true. And so what he's doing is he's just chasing down the landlord and landlady, and he knows that he can easily beat them because they're already in a weakened state. So that's why he's not even breaking a sweat.
Thing. Yeah, look at she's got the things all around her neck, almost like she used her power too much.
It's like a neck brace, essentially. It's like a poor knockoff neck brace. It's like a
poor man's neck brace.
They took the concept of just splinting something and just applied it to a whole neck.
And that's just and of course at this point he's the one that's nursing them back to health, and he's been reborn as I guess Sing the White, because he's wearing all white at this point.
Gandalf. It's a reference to Gandalf, from Gandalf the Grey to Gandalf.
Even like my kid said, like
Gandalf fried rice.
It's almost like he got a haircut, but he got a haircut, he got a shave. He does look a lot different. Now, I swear, it's like this is 6 months after doing calisthenics too. The guy's like,
and even how he looks like at the end is a clear reference to Bruce Lee, man.
It's like Peter Parker waking up after the spider bite and Tobey Maguire.
That's big true. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, it is Thing versus the entire Axe gang, actually, and so let me play the clip. And there, of course, Dark Hour. There's a reference to Old Boy. The hallway.
The what is it? The pinball noises are by far my favorite.
Thank you, Dark Hour. Just the spin kicks, you're hearing pinballs. Yeah, and you see him bodies just plop into the ground.
Even look at this dude in the back. He's stuck in the ceiling. It's just his legs popping out.
Yeah,
I didn't even notice that. That's one of those things you don't really catch unless it's
it's so Looney Tunes. It's so fantastic. I just love it so much.
Yeah, and it's a good contrast to where at the beginning of the film, the first fights that you see are really like sort of grounded, and even it goes to the Wuxia, all of that stuff. That it's still grounded, and here it's just this dude is so overpowered that he's just treating everyone like fucking pinballs. Literally, it's going. That's fantastic, and of course you end up having Sting versus the Beast, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
So Let me just see if it's the proper clip that I'm lining up. And yes, also, just before I play the clip, I did want to say that it's a great emphasis on the beginning of this fight. You know, everything is in slow motion, so you can really just hear those impacts. And it gives you that, the Matrix impression when Neo is just understanding that he is the one. And of course, that's what the landlady says. He is the one. She literally says it.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah. And just that slow motion and the fact that his eyes are he's not really concentrating on who he's beating at the beginning. He's just doing it because he understands the chi flow now.
Yeah.
And it's great. Then it just starts beating everyone. And now we finally have Sing the White versus the Toad. All right, let me play the clip. I love the CG.
Oh, yeah.
The Toad.
The Toad, yeah.
I'm curious, Dark, you may know this. He hits him in the neck with the same like kick right there, like 3 different times, almost like he's doing it. They do it again. They do,
like submission.
It's like, what was the point? He did. The same
if you hit the same place over and over again, it's going to hurt more each time. So
yeah,
it's really just the thought process behind that. Plus, that particular kick just looks really good.
Yeah,
like because you can have the like bending of the neck as the kick happens. You know, if you hit anywhere from the neck up, you're doing a lot of damage with a kick. So.
I know the fact that like he has beaten the Beast, but like the Beast is still holding his own versus like you guys see in Matrix where Neo versus Smith. Once Neo becomes the one, it was so one sided.
Yes,
and the Beast is still for most part it's not one sided. He has to still beat the Beast. I mean, the Beast is still giving him a run for his money.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Well, it's them bringing out each other's best, and this is what he's wanted. So now that he's seeing that, was it Sing?
Sing
getting these incredible abilities. He's just like, because in the beginning he's like, oh, child's play, and then all of a sudden he's like right in front of him, and he's like hitting him, and that like when he beats all the guys, like, and then he's just like, oh, okay, this guy's actually got some ability, and he gets knocked down, and then he starts getting kicked. The scene we just saw, and then the Beast is like, okay, now I'm in for a fight. Now I gotta use my abilities here, and then like when the Beast is using his abilities again, his higher abilities.
Yeah, I have the clip.
Sing.
I'm about to be like, well, that's weird that you're going back there.
There it is. There it is.
This is brilliant.
Toad abilities. Fantastic. Anime.
Also, I did not realize it before until you guys mentioned it, but like the frogs in like his prison cell, I think that was like kind of like foreshadowing for like
that's a good call.
He's he's probably training in the prison with that. Had
the
in the technique. Back pocket. I don't know. But I also thought it was funny. Somebody mentioned it. I saw there's a comment about like perfect cell. And then they were talking about like how he's bringing out the best in each other. So it's like he's like Cell versus Gohan.
Yeah, it's very Super Saiyan 2 Gohan.
So that
he pushes off the
Hulk and push off an eagle. This I'm like, now it's getting goddamn ridiculous.
Yeah.
But dude, the Toad technique is like, this scared me as a kid when I saw his limbs just growing, and I was like, whoa. And plus, he's a really scary dude in this scene because, Sing, he's the one, but these like ribbit techniques, they kind of look like practical effects. Actually, they really do look practical. It's fantastic, and it's just a great way to show how powerful he is. And Sing, of course, is still in a dire situation, which is there, and coincidentally gets pushed up. And that's what he needed to do the ultimate technique. I guess that's what they call it. It's like it looks like proper Photoshop. Like you'd see, like dude.
I ate beforehand this time.
Hey Tyler, how you doing, man?
But
Shield Wall Dragons just got back from the new Ghostbusters movie and should have skipped it for this stream. You should. I mean, I agree. I agree.
But Dark Hour, he pushed off an eagle, right?
Yeah, it looks like an eagle.
Of course, an
eagle. I think it's either an eagle or a large hawk.
An eagle.
I was assuming it was a hawk, but it could be an eagle. I don't know.
I say
well, looking at it now, it's got to be an eagle because eagles fly around the sun.
And eagles are part of America's, of course, America rules, and he needed the power
That's
of America.
That's probably
the power of America wins.
That's not a bald eagle though. We're like bald eagles are pretty much exclusive to the United States. That's probably
golden. That's a golden.
Eagle.
Yeah.
It's bald in my version.
Yeah.
Yeah, Professor R2. Yeah, you got back from the same showing as Shield Wall, man. What is this?
You guys were actually sitting next to each other. I didn't even realize it.
Yeah, man. Dude. This was just like really, really cool, especially the fact that the eagle is still in the shot over there. Buddha is in the sky. It's like, fuck yeah, dude.
It was like this.
The technique.
Yeah,
that'd be great if we get
giving him the okay.
Like one feather sticking up. It's like, yeah, good.
Yeah, and of course this is the what do they call it? They call it the long lost Buddhist palm from heaven technique.
Yeah, the descending from heaven Buddhist palm technique, something like that.
Or in Western world, gooch palm strike.
The gooch palm strike. Oh yeah. Dude, imagine a gooch palm strike from the sky.
And the Buddha in the cloud, the Buddhist sculpture in the clouds just helps it.
Mm-hmm. And when they're healing him, they actually bring him in front of the Buddha statue, which was set up back when she was scolding the 3 kung fu masters, because they had prayed to the Buddha statue to see if they should have been exiled or not. So yeah, a legal tender eagle.
Yeah, it's not a golden. Wait, golden eagles are actually a lot bigger than. So this one's not that much bigger than a bald eagle, but like in real life, golden eagles are like really big comparatively to a bald eagle.
America, fuck yeah, ladies and gentlemen.
Anyway,
of course, and of course, ladies and gentlemen, let me play the clip of the ultimate, I guess, god form technique of invincibility. This shit is like overpowered as hell, dude. But I guess the only constraint is that you have to go like a fucking kilometer in the sky, and that's it.
That's 2/3 of a mile for those of us who confused.
Let me play the clip. Dude, I'd have this exact same reaction, to be honest, if I saw and plus this is 100%. I'm sure One Punch Man took this, man, for sure.
Being in high school at the time when this movie came out, Talk to the Hand was very popular at that time, so I could see that being an inspiration for why they used that exact
Yeah, Shield Wall. Yeah, he heats up from re-entry. Yeah, dude.
It reminds me. Has anybody on the panel besides me played Asura's Wrath?
Dude, I want to stream that for PS5. I can't find it.
It's like a lot. There's a lot of that, like jumping high in the sky and coming down, and like re-entry flames and stuff.
It is the best anime video game of all time. It is so over the
top.
top.
It's almost a visual novel. Like you almost can't lose that.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's like, dude,
I want to stream that game so bad.
Yeah, you might need to capture card like an old PS3 or something to do that.
Yeah, and it's like I think what also adds to Kung Fu Hustle's timelessness is the cinematography, because they do some shots that even for let's say like a spoof movie managed to make it kind of unique. The wide angles, even when Singh was fighting the Axe Gang, and he stepped on all of their shoes, the wide angle of them having that reaction. That's just like really, really great cinematography in general. And of course, this is the kind of a reference to before when the tailor was getting attacked by the harpists, and you saw the blades coming through his eyes, and it's just great, it's fantastic. And this is just incredible, dude. I fucking love Kung Fu Hustle.
Oh yeah, same.
I should have kept like a counter of how many times you said that.
Dude, Kung Fu Hustle is my shit, dude. This is literally an attack in the new Bleach arc, the Zero Division.
I'm with you. Victor.
Yeah. All right. And of course, this is their reaction. Can you imagine Kung Fu Masters looking at you like this? You've done something right, which is great. And finally, he bows down to him, and he says that he wants him to be, his master. Which is kind of interesting because Blue Collar, you were saying before the technique of where he hits him in the neck to try and like put him down.
Yeah,
it's kind of like beating him to bow down to him in a sense. You know what I mean? Then finally,
Well,
go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Man.
It's also like this. It goes back to the tone and the light editing, where like the sun is setting, like indicating it's the end of an era and the beginning of a new one. So like it's like the way they portray this is like top notch, like brilliant stuff. Like it's because like it was sunny before, now it's like everything's changing and developing.
Yeah, it's dusk now.
Yeah.
You can see it better when you look at it through here. You can see that it's the sun just going down. And yes, it's even stuff like that, dude. I've watched this movie a dozen of times. I didn't even realize that until you pointed it out. Gooch, yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's the way they portray it. It's just incredible. Like the tones, the emotions, the lighting, it just sets everything up. It's really, 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 really good.
Yeah. Plus, too, with the Beast is always looking for the next challenge. He's just like, like, how do you teach? How did you know this? He's like, you know what? Then I'll teach you. Okay, master. Right there. He could easily, at this point, he could kill the Beast.
Yeah, he sheds a tear as well.
Like,
that's what I mean. Like he's bowing, like he's going down and bowing, and so is the sun, so is the light. Like everything, it just blends together in harmony. It's great.
It's fantastic, and the score as well, man. I think I started Shield Walls. Yeah, well, we said this already, but like the film, the music from this film really adds to the story. If I didn't have the Beijing opera music, it wouldn't be the same. I completely agree. I think this is literally one of the best film scores ever made. To me, it's up there with Old Boy, because to me, what makes a film score is the fact that you can not only have it in the film that it seems good, but it also adds something to the context of the movie itself, which is fantastic. And Old Boy to me is like the prime example of how music can be added into the context of the film. For example, that film, what it does is it'll give you a track at the beginning, and then throughout the film, while the protagonist is changing, the track as well changes with the protagonist, that initial track. And they add different leitmotifs inside just to emphasize on how changed you are from beginning to end. And Kung Fu Hustle does the same thing. I think it's fantastic. To me, the score of this is 10 out of 10. And the score was composed by Raymond Wong. And I looked through his Wikipedia page, or even his IMDb, and he hasn't done anything notable except for Shaolin Soccer in terms of compositions, which I found fantastic. It's really weird.
Did he also help with the soundtrack?
No, I don't think so. For me, I only found Raymond Wong in this one. And he's been composing since 1994, and his most recent one is 2018. However, he only does Chinese movies. This is, I think, as Western as he's gotten. This and Shaolin Soccer. So
I mean, the soundtrack is beautiful. Honestly, it's kind of one of those soundtracks that just had like so much personality. Like it fits in the scene so well. Like I don't really. It's hard for me to imagine it with a different soundtrack. You know what I mean? Like you can't have. There's a lot of these scenes where it's like you couldn't have it like with modern rap in the background or something like that, or pop music or something. Like you need to have the exact same kind of soundtrack that it has.
You have him dropping from the heavens here, like I'm gonna knock you out.
Well, even like you go back to the old Looney Tunes, where like going up and down the stairs is that bump 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 bump, like simple little like segments of music, like for those little scenes are great. And this movie is so underrated because it uses similar techniques like from way back when the creators were doing that. It's just like a throwback to everything. It's this movie should be like in the top 10 of all time in my opinion, because it brings out so much.
I agree. And Smilex, you said before that we were all biased. No. We're giving the movie its praises. This movie deserves all the praise that it has, man. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. And even, you put the Axe Gang theme. Anyone who's watched Kung Fu Hustle recognizes that instantly, It's that good. And
honestly, there's just so much to appreciate the film. How could you not like this? I don't know.
yes,
I mean,
Totally agree.
it's true. I think that it's weird. Like if someone says they don't like Kung Fu Hustle, I'll just look at you weird and I'll say, "Are you sure, dude? Did you watch Kung Fu Hustle?
Mhm.
Did you watch the good version? Did you actually watch Kung Fu Hustle, or
do you
were
have
you on your
taste?
phone?" Basically,
Well,
yeah.
it's that always debate of the subjective versus objective, right? So
That's true. That's true. Yeah. And
You're objectively wrong.
Yeah,
yeah,
but
you're
in my
objectively wrong.
objective
Kung Fu
opinion,
Hustle is
it's
fantastic.
objectively good.
Rewatch it with subtitles. Watched it in French when it came out. I haven't watched the French dub of this. However, I have seen a ton of like American films with French dub actually. But I don't know. I wonder if the French dub of Kung Fu Hustle is actually good. But do watch it with subtitles. The comedy still punches and everything. Like it still works really well. And now we're at the final scene of the movie, ladies and gentlemen. The final scene is that Sing and Bone are working at the lollipop shop and the candy store. And
this is again brings out like this movie brings out so many emotions. Like you're laughing, you're generally invested in the fight scenes, especially with the harpists. And now you're like emotionally like you almost want to shed a tear because like now you see him like as a little child and her as a little child, and she like there's so many layers to this movie. It's so I keep saying it's freaking brilliant.
It is.
I do like.
Yeah,
I do really love the cinematography of this. The camera.
Oh, yes.
That's such a fantastic shot.
Yeah,
I think they took that from like I think was it the 70s show that started that with the table.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, like the spinning around, yeah, but like this was done because it was very seamless the way they did it.
Yeah,
really, really seamless actually.
Yeah,
and it's just great. The score as well. We said before, but the score of the him and the Fong, the score of him and Fong is just really, really good, and just it starts out like a tragedy, and then here it just ends up like a very romantic, nice like melody.
Well,
and it's just
up to this point, I mean, she represents. So it's funny because like she represents, a peaceful point of his life, but so does Candy and sweets because like when ice cream and stuff as well. So he's kind of like his zen is like between Candy and her. So it's a great, it speaks volumes.
It's a good juxtaposition.
Well, because she represents innocence and naivety, right? Like she's just because she's what they call her mute, and he's living this world of grit and grime and negativity, and he finally gets like you said, gets to gel with her and become the one. He becomes the one and realize like this is what I've wanted my whole life.
I was thinking that exact same thing.
6 toes today.
That like she does represent innocence because like Dark Hour said, you always see her around. I mean, she's selling ice cream, and then she's keeping this lollipop that she had ever since he saved her from those bullies and stuff. And every time at least after the second time he's seen her, now she reminds him of that moment when he was a kid, and he actually did want to be a decent person and he wanted to help people. But that also changed his perspective because things went south. So I guess that's also like she represents that as well as the lollipop to a secondary degree, I guess. That innocence that he had deep inside of him, and that goodness that he had that was just waiting to come out.
Yeah, kids are good. That's what they say.
Yeah, lost innocence, and that's where you go back. That's what I was talking about before, the fracturing of the lollipop, and
just going back to being kids, man. It just really just leaves you ending the film with a huge smile on your face. That's the thing. And Chris, you want to say something, right?
No, that's it. Right here. The concept of snot and boogers is pretty gross. That's the ending of the film.
So I just wanted to.
You wouldn't say a more modern film finished with a kid with boogers streaming down his nose.
Let me just say one thing about the boogers thing, since we're already on that. I was like, that's actually maybe this might be a bad thing. I don't want to give Hollywood ideas, but I was saying that's actually a great setup. Anyway. It's actually a great setup for like a possible sequel, but at the same time, it's like, aside from what people are doing with modern sequels and stuff, like I really don't want to see the main character with the boogies on the face the whole time. You know, like I don't want the next main. I don't want the next main like master to be like, oh, you know, boogies on the face the whole. I don't.
The
you know,
booger technique.
booger
was
technique, you know.
there was talks of doing a sequel, and I
Yes,
don't know if,
yeah.
it was supposed to come out in 2014 or something like that, and it just never happened.
Yeah, because I think Stephen Chow even knows that a sequel is kind of dead at this point. And I think it's good, you know, one thing and that's done. And plus, Stephen Chow now he's 61.
Well, uninspired. According to Google, this says right now, Kung Fu Hustle 2, according to Google, is confirmed. It will be directed by Stephen Chow, and who initially planned to make the film in 2005. It says the sequel will not be a direct sequel, but will instead be set in the modern day with new characters and possibly a female lead. This what happened a month ago from IMDb.
An AI didn't make that.
Female lead.
But even Screen Rant. No, this is articles. If you actually Google Kung Fu Hustle 2, a lot of articles from the past even month says that Steven he still wants to direct. He still wants to direct a sequel. So
maybe I'm fine with that. I'm fine with the female lead, like, because I don't care. Like, everyone is putting everything under a microscope because of you know the world we live in. Like, Blue Eyed Samurai was one. Like, oh, this is woke. It's not woke. Like episode 5 of Blue Eyed Samurai is probably one of the best written episodes of all time. But like like even Arcane, you could like people are like, oh, that's a woke. No, it's just really great written. Like, if you're gonna sit there and say that just because it's a female lead. Then you're going to say Alien and Aliens and Terminator, all these other movies are woke.
I mean, I hate to say it, but like modern Hollywood is kind of like muddied the waters because like there is like genuine good stuff like that still out there and they still come out. But the thing is though that they've kind of narrowed people's mindsets of that because they've been putting out so much junk that like now it's like even if the slightest thing that like resembles that at all, they'll be like, nope. I ain't going to
here's one of the main problems though is when that's announced as one of the key things in the announcement. It always is a red flag. And when it's like, yes, we're thinking about doing this with a female lead, and it's like
people's brains automatically go down to
it's
like what's going on.
It means
now.
that they've skipped over a lot of times they've skipped over all the other things that they should be saying. Like, hey, we're and that's what they're clearly very
go ahead.
I think 100%. I think that's the Western world taking his vision and promoting it like that. I don't think that I honestly don't think that's his intention. I think he just wants something really well written and well done, and they're going to take that and promote it that way, which is a shame. It shouldn't be promoted like that. It should be, here's a great story, here's a great movie, enjoy it, let it play out.
I agree with you, Gooch, because I think it's the way that they say it. So, for example, he could have said it in an interview in let's say it's like a Chinese magazine or something, and it could have been literally just a throwaway line that he said in the interview. But for us over here, because of our like news outlets, it's gonna be the headline. You know, it's interesting. And even Stephen Chow, he's very familiar with making female great female protagonist. Look at Shaolin Soccer, ladies and gentlemen. You know, the donut seller in Shaolin Soccer. There it is. That's a great female character by Stephen Chow, you know? So
even if you want to like say like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, all the like
even Hero also.
Like there's but they do it naturally, they do it organically, like they don't push it in your face. It's this fucking part of the world that we have to sit there and take the little snippets and promote it for whatever agenda or however you want to do it. It just tell a freaking good story and let it play out. Like
I think like if it's coming from anywhere that isn't the West, to me, I know that if they say we have a female character, I'm just like, all right, cool. I know that you guys are gonna deliver a good story, man, because I know that you're exactly. And so just coming back to the end of the movie, I just wanted you guys to, I'm not going to be able to freeze frame it, but just pay attention to the last shot before you see the booger kid. You can see all of our main characters in the background. So on the right, you'll see the barber with his ass hanging out. There you go. You can see him there on the right. Then the landlord and landlady are here. And even in the back, you see Rabbit Tooth Jane walking with a dude. I don't know if you guys saw her.
Was there there as well?
I did see that.
Yeah. They were all there. Let me just play
because
one more
that's his perfect world. That's it's his dream, right, coming true. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what's so beautiful about it.
Yeah, it's great. It's just like that childlike. It ends the movie on that childlike wonder of everything is good now, everything is okay, and it's fantastic. Yeah, Buck-2 Jane Smasher Pass. I'll show a picture of her. I'll share my screen when we're done. I'll show a picture of her. So definitely,
honestly, even with the rabbit teeth, smash.
Yeah, pretty much.
And so yeah, right now at this point, we're back to the Madman.
Yeah.
He's out here giving some leaflets again, and he has a ton of them, which is all sequel bait. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I was saying that's actually a really good setup for like a potential.
Oh yeah.
sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's still selling them to random kids in the street because you have the power, son. You are the one. I can feel it. And
Stephen
Adam
Chow,
Gray.
just don't make the next protagonist have the boogies from the nose. Don't do that.
It'll be superpower, snot power. And yeah, Adam, hey, how you doing, man? God of Cookery, Shaolin Soccer. God of Cookery is incredibly hard to find.
I've never even heard of God of Cookery.
It is very so. Imagine Food Wars. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that anime.
Yeah, I love Food Wars.
So Stephen Chow basically made that in live action before Shaolin Soccer.
No.
Yeah, dude, it's called God of Cookery. Yeah, God of Cookery.
I'm gonna try to find that.
I might have to see that.
Food Wars is hilarious.
1996. So this was before Shaolin Soccer, before Kung Fu Hustle. It was God of Cookery. That's basically the three great parody movies that Stephen Chow made back to back. And God of Cookery is very hard to find. Even me, it's even trying to find your weird ways around it. It's hard to find anywhere online, which is a really bad. It's a shame, dude. It's a shame.
That's why, because I've never even heard of that one. But honestly, now that I'm hearing about it, I want to watch it. I mean, I already saw Shaolin Soccer and Kung Fu Hustle. I love those movies.
Yeah, so God of Cookery was the first one. The first one.
Damn.
Yeah,
I still missed the first one. I thought that was Shaolin Soccer. I'm still behind.
And Shield Wall. This is one of the recent movies that he did. I think it came out in the 2010s. I'm not sure of the name, but yeah, there is one with the alien creature in it. I forgot the name. And ladies and gentlemen, that was Kung Fu Hustle. That's how it ends with the great sequel stuff. And I do have some BTS images that we can check out here. Let me just make these a bit more full screen. And there's some behind the scenes stuff. Stephen Chow directing on the left. There it is, the foot that they used with the flip flop on it to break down everything. And I've got one more over here. And it's just Kung Fu Hustle, ladies and gentlemen. It's a fantastic film.
They must have had so much fun making this film.
For sure.
It seems like it's you get the vibe that they had a lot of fun making this film.
100%. And let me just get a picture of Rabbit Tooth Jane, what she actually looks like.
Well, while you're doing that, please. we could start our closing thoughts, I guess.
Let me
Chris, why don't you go first?
Watched this film when I was a younger person, and the past week watched it. This is my third time watching with you guys, so I was watching the background. Yeah, it's hard to say films that you could watch multiple times and still get something out of it. Score, 10 out of 10. It's the very hard blend of parody, but also very good choreography. So there's something. If anyone says this film is 10 out of 10, I can't debate you. It's a classic, and I hope that if a sequel does come out, that we don't get a really crappy sequel. But everyone here on the panel, we're so burnt out of Hollywood's bullshit standards. But this isn't coming from Hollywood. This is coming from over east. So if Stephen Chow wants to direct a sequel 20 years later, hey guys, I know not every sequel is good, but look at Top Gun Maverick. If he wants to make a sequel for Kung Fu Hustle 2, I'll support it. And
he was just waiting for that. Actually, he was like,
he was waiting for Chris.
Blue Collar Loser hasn't approved my sequel yet.
Come on.
I'm just gonna wait.
sometimes it may take 20, 30 years for a good sequel.
Did you? I guess pull up the pictures.
Let me. Is it on? Yeah, let me add it to the stage. There she is. All right. So this is this is what she looks like, ladies and gentlemen.
She's really good at she's really good at uglying herself up with faces too. Like
yeah, I can't find like an HD image, sadly enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is her. This is what she looked like. She's fucking beautiful, dude.
Yeah,
yeah, she is.
Oh yeah, and just the prosthetic teeth isn't the whole story. Like it's like the way she contorts her face.
Yeah, her mannerisms,
her mannerisms. It's you know.
Yeah,
Gooch smash. Gooch smash.
100%. Yeah, so
Chris,
I guess you did your final thoughts.
The Gooch is next on his final thoughts.
Final thoughts for this movie. For me, when it comes to like these kind of films, there's a lot of like filler that's put in these kind of films. There's no wasted dialogue. There's no wasted footage. Each scene leads into something, and you have to be aware of what's happening because it all circles back somehow. It's really, really well done. Like Chris said, like the choreography, the music, like the simplest little things. Like it's. You look at it and you think, oh, how did they do that? But it's so simple. They're bringing back like a lot of the old school cinematic techniques into this film. Yeah, tricks and techniques. Yeah, and it's brilliant story. To me, like this is, and I meant it when I said this is a top 10 film of all time for me.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, it would be a definite 10 out of 10 for me. Because like even the way it ended, you're left like your heart's full, like like it pulls on your heartstrings. You get invested in the action, the characters, the way they kill off some of the protagonists. Like it's just you're in for a really, really good treat and a ride with this movie. So 10 out of 10.
Maybe it was 2005, but people said I don't see the R rating. I just maybe we're so used to like PG-13 nowadays, but I don't get 2024. I've seen way worse on TV than this film.
Standards have also changed a lot over the last like 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
So, Richard, what is your closing discussion for this?
Oh, I enjoyed it, no doubt about it. Obviously, first one I was saying it was this week, and there was nothing wrong with it. It was just a good film. And good choreography. I thought it was that, which is great. I'm not the biggest fan of martial arts, but this is one I watch it and enjoy it. That one definitely I'd watch it again. Yeah. My mate's going to struggle to get his DVD back.
You're like, I ain't shipping this shit back.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, man. Yeah, I enjoyed it. No lecture in the storyline, just a good story and good characters. It's too bad you got to turn the clock back 20 years to go and find it.
Yeah,
yeah. Well, the setup for the tones for the whole film is brilliant.
Yeah,
like it's just
that's good. I bloody liked it.
And
so Jalen.
I was just gonna say, I know that we were mentioning choreography and score, but choreography especially, man. Yen Wu-ping, who did this, as I said at the beginning, if you look at just his filmography, that I would actually like to pull up just before Jalen goes ahead and gives us his final thoughts. I really want you guys just to see the movies that he's done, and you guys are 100% going to recognize a lot of the names here. So from 1972 all the way down to 2019, you've got like Drunken Master, the original one, Once Upon a China 2, which is great as well.
Mm-hmm.
The Matrix, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, all the Matrix movies, the Kill Bill movies, Kung Fu Hustle, House of Fury, which I kind of like.
Oh, yes.
Forbidden Kingdom, which I love.
Fearless had good choreography too. The storyline was god awful trash, but the choreography.
And one of my favorite modern martial arts films is The Grandmaster. If none of you have seen The Grandmaster, it is fucking fantastic. I highly recommend The Grandmaster, and he is actually in the movie fighting as a character, which is great. Then of course, Ip Man and Ip Man 4, and that's all that he's done.
Man of Tai Chi as well, also great choreography.
I actually have seen Man of Tai Chi also, so it's great. It's great. He's great. He's incredible.
This dude is fantastic. Like his basically all of like cool Western iconic movies, action movies are basically from him. So yeah, go ahead, Jalen. What are your final thoughts on the movie?
Well, it was a goddamn masterpiece. I mean, I love the movie from beginning to end, and I don't get tired of it. Like, it's one of those movies where it's like if I had no choice but to watch one movie for the rest of my life, this would definitely be on the list because it's like you said, there's just so much you can get out of it. You know, you just get so many great laughs. The cinematography is great. The soundtrack is incredible. The fight scenes, which by the way, I love a great fight scene. I mean, I've watched Ip Man, Man of Tai Chi, all like Couch Tiger, Hit a Dragon, all types of crazy stuff. And even though it's over the top and kind of bordering on Looney Tunes at time, it kind of fits with the like vibe and tone of the movie. You know, it's kind of like created its own atmosphere, so it doesn't really bother me in the context of this movie because that's just the way things are in like this universe, you know. And like I said, it's really just one of my favorite movies. And as I said, since I saw this when I was like very young, it influenced me a lot too, you know, because now whenever I want to make a story, there has to be fighting and jokes in it. There has
Peacemaker Chronicles has a lot of the visual like gags that you get from like this, you know, from manga and anime. And
so if you read Uninspired already knows. If you read my webcomic, you're gonna tell it was influenced from Kung Fu.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And, dude. And I guess Dark Hour, what are your final thoughts on Kung Fu Hustle?
I pretty much gave my final thoughts in the beginning, and that was that this is such a great blend of Eastern and Western concepts, but like going right up against that parody level, but not breaking through the wall of insanity to the point where it loses your audience. And it's one of those movies that you can rewatch a lot and you'll find things. I mean, I've only watched it twice, but obviously there's people here who've seen it multiple times, and you can still find little details. Like you mentioned the frogs, or like, you know, the guy's head is up in the building and whatnot. And that to me is always a mark of a great film. If you can go back, rewatch it, and still be picking things out, that means that people put a lot of care into the details. And that's what real cinema is in the end, is the details. So
this is cinema. Called Dark Hour. There you go.
We need a picture of Martin Scorsese up here with his hands up. Like
cinema, ladies and gentlemen. And I mean, for my final thoughts, I just echo all of the sentiments that you guys say. Kung Fu Hustle, if you've never seen it in the chat, or people watching this on the re-upload and are discovering Kung Fu Hustle through the stream, please do watch it. Like, all of this stuff, even though we've covered it on the stream, it does hold up if you're watching the movie there. You know, it's just that good, you know. And one thing I did want to mention about the score was the one of the main themes of Kung Fu Hustle. I think it's the first fight with Cooley versus the Axe Gang. There is a resemblance to, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the How to Train Your Dragon main theme, but they do sound eerily familiar, which is really cool. It's like The Last of Us, the theme of The Last of Us sounds eerily familiar to that Clint Eastwood movie, the one where he's in the Alps. Let me look it up. The Eager Sanction, or Iger Sanction, the Clint Eastwood movie from 1975.
The Bob Iger Sanctions.
You're dropping something I for totally.
The Iger Sanction. There's a specific track in the Iger Sanction when he's running around with the Native American woman and they're tracking in the woods. The theme of that is exactly, I swear to God, beat for beat, the Last of Us theme. I shit you not. So it's kind of
years ago. What is it? The X-Men theme got into some hot water because it sounded like some theme from a Hungarian show or something. Like that.
Yeah, it's kind of recycled stuff like this, you know. Even what's it called? The Marvels, they recycled They recycled the Spider-Man theme, the Michael Giacchino Spider-Man theme. So it's interesting to see the way that, you know, you've got some recycled stuff like this, and I just love this movie. I think it's fucking fantastic. And the Iger Sanction was scored by John Williams, for those of you who don't know. So I guess that's it, man. I just want to say thank you to everyone in the chat for being here. Most of all, thank you to yeah. I know Melvin.
At least, yeah, you know.
I know Melvin.
It's by the way.
By the way,
Ellie is gay.
I hate that game.
Just wanted to say thank you to everyone in the chat for coming in and watching the stream. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope that we covered Kung Fu Hustle really, really well for you guys. And massive thank you to everyone on the panel. Thank you to the Grandmaster Chris out here.
It's going back. Come on.
Yeah. We got the Gooch.
Yeah, Gooch. It's a pleasure having you on. Finally, dude.
Bob Finger.
And thank you, Richard. Thanks for coming on, dude. Jalen, thanks for coming on, dude.
I promise you guys that when I come back to Earth with my whole fleet of people, you guys will be spared in the invasion. Don't worry.
Of course, we do still need to let you guys go ahead, Uninspired.
We need to let you plug your shit, ladies and gentlemen. So
let's go in reverse order this time, since we've been going. Yeah, let's go in reverse order.
All right, so let's go in reverse order. All right, Jalen, it's time to plug your shit, buddy. So let the people know what you're doing. If you have any new videos out, what you want them to check out, and of course, all the links are already in the description, folks. So, nice. Jalen, shout out your shit, man.
All right. Well, actually, so I actually just came out, like I think it was a day or two ago. With
congratulations on that.
Yeah, I was like, I'm like, oh,
with the new video and short. I had the short it's a small little short on Megamind, which that was funny, and the video is I'm talking about the new Crow trailer, the 2024 situation.
Sure.
I'm not gonna take up anybody's time about it here. Just listen to my thoughts there if you want to know what I think about it.
Give him the click, everybody. Give him the click.
And also, as I've mentioned maybe 1 or 2 times before, I'm also working on a webcomic called Peacemaker Chronicles. It's my passion project. I have it on both Webtoons and Tapas for anybody who wants to give it a little read. Yeah, very passionate about it, and of course, open to criticism. So,
only if it's constructive, though. Don't go on there and call him like a
don't go on there and shit on it. Guys, do check out Jalen ET's Peacemaker Chronicles. For those of you who don't know, if you actually check my YouTube channel in my description, Jalen ET's Peacemaker Chronicles has been one of the links in my description right next to my Twitter and the Two Host channel, and it's been there since I met Jalen, because I actually think that his work is really good. He's got 10 episodes out right now. You can read it on Tapas. And I'm not just shouting it out because he's my homie, dude. I'm actually shouting it out because I think it's good. And,
trust me. Uninspired is my pal. He's my old putty old pal. But at the same time, he's also a reviewer. So he would say if it's shit, if it was.
Yeah. I always give him shit when I don't like something. I always tell him it's bad or he should fix it. So do check it out. And of course, dude, thanks for coming on, man.
Richard, man. Please.
It is time. Yeah, go ahead, Jalen.
No, I was just going to say, please know that if you need me any other time, just put the giant J in the sky as a signal. I'll fly out there,
For sure, dude.
Give me a heads
Don't worry. Everybody gets on the list.
No worries, dude. Dark Hour.
I'm always I'm almost annoyingly keeping
organized
and organized. It's like,
yeah, dude. All right. Richard, it is time to plug your shit.
Thank you. The YouTube's just about retired for me at the minute, but I have been on the Facebook pages with a link to my YouTube. I've been writing a few opinion pieces and publishing those onto the Facebook pages attached to my YouTube. The most recent one I did was on my favorite Star Trek series, which is Deep Space Nine, and before that, I wrote one that was basically, I called it a love letter to Age of Empires, because I got back into playing Age of Empires around Christmas, and I've had a bloody good time doing it.
Age of Empires 2, one of the best
it is. And when I get up to 100 followers on the Facebook page, I'm going to write the story about the time I got set on fire.
Oh, wow.
If that is not enough incentive to go and follow him, well, I don't know what is.
It's not much of a spoiler, but alcohol was involved.
That's awesome. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, it was great to have you on, man. It was we were you and me had been in contact for quite a while, and
that's been
hopefully when we start to get these other alternative time frames that we're gonna have things, we can get you back on. That way you don't have to wake up at like 5 a.m. to do this.
Yeah,
So,
man.
That sounds all right.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. It's been great being with you.
Okay. And of course, now, Gooch, the Palm Strike Gooch, man. It is time for you to plug your shit. You're on mute. You're on mute. You're on mute. You got to unmute.
You are not plugging anything.
Well, I haven't even said anything. I got this little wee channel called Diabolical Souls, where I do reviews and interviews. I've been doing a lot of animated series reviews, which have kind of taken off. We just ended Arcane, and we're jumping into Cyberpunk Edge Runners on Thursday nights, 10 o'clock Eastern.
Nice.
Tuesdays, I have a group with me. I have a crew there. We're doing Scavenger's Reign on Tuesdays, 10 o'clock Eastern. That's been a blast. Wednesdays, I do a lot of promoting of comic book artists, content creators, everything like that. So I do a lot of interviews on Wednesdays. And then I'm also on a bunch of other streams. Like tonight, I'm part of the crew on Saturday Night Hypnosis. I'm on Wednesdays. What's Good on Zach's channel.
Yeah.
And I get invited to, a bunch of streams like this great stream here. And it's been an honor to come on here tonight. I was looking forward to this. Thank you so much for having me. Everyone in the chat, you guys are awesome. You guys always kick ass. I appreciate it. So yeah, I'm currently going to be working on a few things. I'm doing some editing. I'm also going to be creating my own 2D animation for my channel. And I'm also doing my own book, the way it should be done. So,
hell yeah,
book.
dude.
So
shade on that one. A little shade.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. So there's a lot that I got need to look forward to. Again, Diabolical Souls has been a blast. Thank you for everyone that's watched the channel or visited or been in part of the chat or even been on the panel. I can't thank everyone enough. It's been awesome. I'm almost at 5,000 subscribers, so let's keep that wave rolling. So
yeah.
I can say this: you do some of the best interviews I've seen. So
yes,
yeah.
you're
I appreciate that.
Fantastic interviewer, dude. Like really, really are.
Thank you. I appreciate that, guys.
Yeah, and Grandmaster, Grand Dragon, the number one dude, the Pepsi man, blue collar loser. It is time to plug your shit.
I'm much like Gooch. I feel like at this point, like I'm on a channel, but I've been hosting. Like my God, I'm on other people's. I'm spending more time on other people's channels than my own channel, which is fun. And it's become this thing where it's like Tuesdays we do our rewatches. This Tuesday is The Departed, and everybody here has an open invite. I keep inviting more people. We had the Gourd King for Gone Baby Gone. He just hit 1,000 subscribers. And everyone here knows it's hard. Like I try to my best to like you guys do Saturday. I don't want to do Saturday. Critical Drinker does Thursday. I don't do Thursday. But then we have Gooch.
Yeah, that's just smart not to do Thursday.
Yeah, but Gooch does Tuesday night, so I'm doing Tuesday morning. But then Enzo, our friend Enzo, he does Monday. It's so hard trying.
There's only so many days during the week. You're going to end up inevitably crossing over.
It really is. So now our current Tuesday rewatches is Tuesday mornings because it's the only time we don't clash. No one's doing nothing on Tuesday morning. But yeah, and just keep updating with current movies. I just watched Ghostbusters Afterlife. This Thursday, Godzilla vs. King Kong 2 is coming out. I know it's going to be retarded, but you know what? The 10-year-old in me, I've seen a still where King Kong punched Godzilla through pyramids. I want to see that. I don't care. It's like I love stupid
Chris,
shit, man.
I'm there with you. I'm literally going to be there opening day to watch it on the biggest screen possible because I just want to see monsters fight each other. I don't care about the plot.
Look, the six of us just talked about Kung Fu Hustle for 3.5 hours. Okay.
Yeah.
There's if you people say, well, okay, Godzilla versus Kong is stupid. Do you want to break down how many scenes in this movie make no fucking sense?
Yeah. Oh, Yeti F for the super sticker. Hey, thank you, Yeti. Yeah. Man, Yeti F. Yeah, I'll say when it's my time to shout out stuff, but yeah, shout out to you, Yeti F, man. Thanks again, dude.
I try doing reviews as much as possible. All six of you guys know that the problem with me is being blue collar is I am working like no bullshit. The past 2 months, I'm working 7 days a week, also trying to be a father, also trying to hit the gym, also trying to do reviews. And I've been on PlayStation streaming Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and also playing Helldivers. And it's like, no bullshit. When I was an open bar, I told Dark Hour this. I was at that point up for about 45 hours. Like I've been skipping days of sleep because I'm so busy being on other people's channels, and I gotta start pacing myself. But there's so much we have so much to do. I love the fact that I don't have time to be bored.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
I feel you, dude. I really feel you on that one.
I just want to say I love doing streams of Blue Collar because he's one of the funniest motherfuckers I think I've been around with.
He really is.
You have great takes, man. Like I've never laughed so hard in my life when we were doing that freaking jack boxing and your freaking shit.
I tell everybody,
I was dying. I was like the next day I couldn't open my mouth because my cheeks hurt so much because I was laughing so much.
It's one thing
I have a blast with you, man.
Dark Hour showed me uninspired and critical drinkers. Like guys, I just like, you know what? If you love something, love something. I love the creator. People shit on the creator. Like I thought, if Godzilla versus Kong 2 is stupid, but you know what? The 10-year-old in me wants to see Godzilla versus King Kong. That's all I care about, guys. Come on. Don't be too serious about it, man.
I feel you, man. I've been saying ever since they showed that little, ever since they made the King Kong movie, and they showed that little the shit with him with Godzilla on the wall, I was like, listen, y'all need to bring them together and just have them fight. I don't care what the reason is.
Let them fight.
Yeah, I tell people, I just grab a drink. I get off work. Sometimes you just want to drop $15 and just sit down, have some popcorn, grab a fucking soda, have a good time, man. I'm not going to pretend that
to be specific.
Yeah, really. I'm not going to pretend that Godzilla versus Kong is like, at the level of The Lighthouse, but we have to have popcorn fun. Everybody here, we all grew up. Dark Hour did a happy hour with a critical drinker doing Last Action Hero. Let's not pretend that's a great fucking film, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, it's slowly become one of my favorite films for various reasons.
But you know what it is though. Come on.
No, it was exactly. It wasn't like, it wasn't great cinema. It was a fun film for its time.
Oh yeah. It's good, man. It's fantastic. And dude, thanks for coming on, Chris. Really had a good time talking with you about Kung Fu Hustle, dog. And now, of course, Dark Hour, you are, the guest on my channel technically now. So you go first. It is time to plug your shit, dude.
So obviously, we're Two Hoes continues. We're actually finally getting a week off after.
Yeah, we are. Thank God.
The next one will be Blade 2. We're bringing back as many people as we could from Blade 1, the stream for Blade 1. And I am putting I've done a lot of the audio. I'm going to start putting the video and all that stuff to my standing 8 count video, which is 8 action sequences that come out of left field. Still workshopping the title. I haven't really, but there's one in there that I don't think anybody's expecting. So, I'm not sure what I'm going to review soon. Not really like I don't care about Ghostbusters enough to review it. I'm thinking possibly Kong versus Godzilla, Kong X Godzilla, whatever it is. Only because of how well I did with my last Godzilla review. It almost feels like it's obligatory at this point. Yeah. But there's a couple of cool movies coming out that are like Monkey Man. I want to review that in the near future. I think it comes out next month.
It comes out I think first week of April.
Yeah. So I got some stuff in the pipeline, and then see what else comes up. I'm going to be on Beast Up this upcoming Monday if you want to hear me talk about X-Men 97, and I may show up with some Wolverine mutton chops. Just saying, possibly going to be a thing. So
okay,
but that's all I got.
Awesome. All right. Well,
I thought you'd be turning up looking like the new Morph.
He was always non-binary.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, Dark Hour, you gotta tell me what do I have to do right now, Dark Hour?
Oh, you have to plug your shit.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. So right now I'm severely job hunting. So for those of you who don't know, which is why the channel is very slow right now, I've basically been doing really job hunting. So that's been taking out all of my day. And so what I'm trying to do right now is hopefully I get a video out before the end of the month. So normally by Sunday, which is going to be the 31st, I will have a video up. It's going to be a recommendation spoiler-free video. So do check that out when it comes out. And hopefully I'm going to cover Monkey Man if I have time. And yeah, that'll be something. I will be watching Godzilla and Kong because who the fuck doesn't want to just see huge monsters punch each other? To be honest,
I'm making contact with you about that.
And yeah, in terms of what I did before, so yeah, I was on Yeti F and Vex Electronica's 8750 podcast, which I will link right now. There it is. Yeah, on Spotify, where I talk about hunting poon and yeah, various other things. Because let's just face it, dudes, the day that I was supposed to be on the podcast is like at that night I was going to like a booty call. So we ended up shifting the discussion to that. And, there's a lot of fun stuff in there. That's basically like the uninspired reviewer, unfiltered. The
unfiltered reviewer.
Basically, yeah, unfiltered 22-year-old dude talking about his life. So do check that out. You guys are gonna have a really, really good laugh. And what else did I do? I was on Jacob Ironside's channel on Tuesday, where we talked about First Blood, which was great as well. And I will be on with Lance, the Outcast Creative, on Sunday. Yeah, tomorrow normally.
Tomorrow, yeah.
At 9 p.m. And we're going to talk about the Muppets The Thing movie. So yes, we're going to be breaking that down, and it's going to be very, very fun. So hopefully I managed to get the video out by next week. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just want to say once again, thank you to everyone on the panel for showing up. Massive, massive, massive thank you to everyone in the chat, as well as everyone who sent in super chats. You guys are all fucking awesome. So
you guys are the real heroes.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, that's why I always quote Megamind. You know, what's his name? Metro Man.
Metro Man, yeah.
Yeah, Metro Man. There's always the quote when someone says, "I love you, Metro Man," and there's like, "And I love you, random citizen." Like, I love that line, dude. And yeah, some info from Yeti Yef. Uninspired's episode will come out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts starting Monday. Yes, so ladies and gentlemen, do check that out when it comes out through Yeti Yef. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We've covered everything, right, Dark Hour?
Yeah.
All right.
It's just that time to.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Goodbye. Dark Hour will play the outro because I fucking suck at doing it. Bye.